It's off exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
There's just so many levels to it, but when you're playing in like a dive bar, it's what it is.
It's a little more raw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're just so good at working with, what they do, that can wind up being better than the guys that actually have the tech, because I've been to places that have the tech and then it just sounds like crap.
Have you seen any crazy shit in dive bars when you're playing? Fights, craziness?
Not at, like crazy mosh pit stuff like that. I've seen a lot, but even recently we were at the Chance in Poughkeepsie. We just did a show.
I love this story.
And so
Before we roll with the story, we got guys from the Phoenix and the Raven on tonight. This was supposed to be our spooky Halloween episode stuff.
Was. I am so sorry.
Well, you're so popular.
It's hard to nail me down, man.
Go to, yeah.
well, now we're doing it for the troops. It's Veterans Day.
We're doing it for the
right.
troops.
Yeah. God bless America.
Yeah, from spooky Halloween to the troops. So
That's right.
Yeah, just shout out your voices so the people know who you are if they're tuning in. So we got Jay Stupp.
Sure thing. This is Justin, aka Jay Stupplebeen.
Boy.
Our first sound drop for Stupp.
I can't wait for all those. Boy.
Great.
And this is Brandon Weaver. I'm the drummer, the one that sits in the back. No one sees me.
What was that sound drop, Jay?
Boy.
Tell him stuff.
That right there is Kratos, the god of war.
I was like, that sounds like it's from a video game.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yep, it is.
I had heard it before. I was like, I don't know what this is from, though, and I'm not going to sound like an idiot. I already sound like an idiot enough.
In Poughkeepsie, though, Stupp?
Oh, yeah. So we got to open up for the band Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, which is like emo royalty from like the mid to even early 2000s.
I feel like I know the name, that
yeah.
group.
They did that song Face Down, like, do you feel like a man when you push her
Oh,
away?
Yeah.
So we got to open and like hang out with those guys a bit. And super nice guys. But after the set that we did, me and Gary were inside of a Jeep that he owns, not some random dude's Jeep. And we were just hanging out, stretching out after the show because I just lifted up an amp wrong and I just jacked my back up. So I'm stretching out, and we see this gate just fly open. And me and Gary are like, what the hell is going on here? And all of a sudden we see security pointing the guy like, you need to leave. Guy's clearly drunk. So all of a sudden we just see him grab security by the throat. And then like 6 of them just swarm the guy. But we see like 6 security guys just swarm this guy, take him out into the alleyway and give him some street justice.
You're still stretching.
Yeah, I'm still stretching. I wasn't going to help him out. So I'm just hanging out watching this. I look at Gary, our guitar player, and I'm like, am I seeing this right? Like, did we just watch this guy get his ass beat? And then he gets up and walks over to Brandon and our singer, Ben. And why don't you tell him what he...
Yeah, so I watched the same thing just from the different angle. So they're watching it straight on, like literally as the gate is flying open, it's flying open in their direction. I'm over by like the back door just at a completely different angle. I see the door fly open, the brawl happens. They beat the crap out of the guy, and they're like, "You got to get out of here." And I'm just sitting there. I'm looking at my singer Ben. I'm like, "What the hell is happening?" And then he goes to walk by, and he looks at me. He's like, "Yo, you guys killed it tonight," and then just walk somewhere. I've literally no idea where he went, but I was like trying so hard not to laugh. I was like, he gave me props, but he just got his ass beat because he did something. I'm like, what do I do? I was like, what the Ricky Bobby, what do I do with my hands? I was just like sitting there. I had no clue what to do. And I was just like, that's going down in my stories.
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands? I love
Literally,
that movie.
though. But he actually got picked up by the cops because I was talking to Glenn, the manager.
Yeah, him and his girlfriend did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Glenn was the manager of the Chance. And he's the one that helped hook us up with the show and stuff like that. And we just see him because his brother was the security guard that got grabbed. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? He was like, just some drunk asshole. We took care of him. And I was like, okay. And then I guess they got into it outside again. And he just ended up walking off, and Poughkeepsie PD came and just scooped him up and brought him to jail.
Poughkeepsie is like a hotbed of just like weird stuff happening, because in my old band, Poughkeepsie was another place where something wild happened. I was playing like this giant, like all day, like indoor festival, and there was a bunch of big name bands playing, stuff like that, and I was the first up. The whole show wound up being a shit show, so I was just like hanging around, and just meeting the different bands, stuff like that. It was headlined by like Asking Alexandria, All That Remains, Seven Dust, a whole bunch of like other, at the time, big name metal bands. And I was side stage for one of the bands, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this guy who's like, I knew him from like the crew. He was there helping set up and everything like that. So he was just like one of the random roadies. And I see him out of the corner of my eye. He's like almost like getting ready to run. I'm like, what is this guy doing? And he books it and runs into the crowd like he's going to do like a stage dive, except he didn't do the dive. He was just kind of like upright, flying into the crowd. And he wound up kicking this girl in the head. So the rest of his coworkers literally had to like grab him and rip him out and throw him out and fire him on the spot. And I was just like, what even possesses you to do that? I mean, like if you were in a band or whatever, like you'd probably get thrown off the tour. But you're a roadie and you're doing this. Like, you're supposed to be working. Why are you crowd surfing right now?
Or trying to.
Or attempting to, yeah.
Allegedly stage diving.
Woo woo!
What's that, Jay? That's the Juggalos?
Yeah.
That's right. ICP, man.
Were you ever into ICP?
Woo woo!
A little bit. Not like to the point where I called myself a juggalo and like put on the paint.
That shit's supposed to be the wildest of the wildest,
Oh,
right?
oh, yeah.
The gathering of
The gathering of the juggalos.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
We have a buddy that had been to one, and that is, I've seen a lot of wild stuff at shows. I've heard of a lot of wild stuff. I've seen it online and stuff like that. I've never seen what he described. That is some of the most ridiculous, because they're the nicest people on earth, from what he said. Like they're super nice. They'd give you the shirt off their back and everything like that. But just like, I don't even know if I could say it. Like it's just that bad.
Insane sexual acts I've heard. Can you say it? Say
We
it.
can cut it out if it's too raunchy.
Yeah, say it.
I mean, that's fair.
Like just waltzing through a field and just like, people hooking up in tents, people hooking up in the woods, people just doing whatever in the woods.
We don't need to cut that for the woods.
Woo woo!
Yeah, stuff that was going on stage that I literally will not say. It's just that disgusting. I'm not going to gross everyone out with that.
I don't think
they-
I've ever heard an ICP song.
Be thankful.
Should we not even bother?
I mean, we could listen to one.
I've heard they're great guys. They do a lot of business like outside of ICP. They do movies. Mm-hmm. They do movies. They own like a wrestling federation. They do like all of this outside stuff, but everything is like ICP branded, stuff like that. I've always heard they were like really great guys.
And that's probably a huge factor as to why they go into tents and bang each other, even though they're probably looking like, as they call them, wooks, and not looking so hygienic.
What are your guys' musical influence? Like, what did you? I don't know. Like when you can think back to you started to listen to music, like at a young age. What was it?
Well, we were quite not drastic in difference for influence.
No, we were pretty close. I mean, both of us. I mean, probably just, it counts for pretty much everyone. We just kind of listened to like whatever our parents listened to and decided if we liked it or not. Mm-hmm. And that influenced both of us pretty heavily. I mean, my dad was always into like classic rock and stuff like that. And so was my mom. And same thing with him and his parents. Like it was, if we were in the car with them and if we were ever at their house or anything like that, I mean, because we grew up together, we would basically listen to the same thing no matter what house or no matter what car we were in or anything like that. So it's all like classic rock, Zeppelin, AC/DC, stuff like that. And then from there, it just kind of developed into whatever people in school found, whatever LimeWire would hurl our way or anything like that. And aside from viruses.
Yeah, we were in those days where it was like LimeWire.
Yeah,
and then
Napster and
Napster. And then it was like the
FrostWire.
Yeah, and then
FrostWire. Yep. LimeWire went down. You had FrostWire.
Yep.
No, Mom, I did not put a virus on the computer.
I swear it wasn't me.
I swear.
Oh, my brother absolutely did.
Oh,
he
I 100% did.
He didn't think twice about it or anything like that. Just went through, oh yeah, sounds good. Downloaded it, screwed up the computer. Got another computer, screwed that one up too.
Yeah.
And then Paul, we would like YouTube to the MP3. You would convert the YouTube
Yep.
videos.
Yeah, I did that for a while too. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there was Pirate Bay too.
Pirate Bay, and you could get like movies on Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
I used to do that shit all the time. And then it went down.
Well, for legal reasons, no, we didn't.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yeah, but kids don't know shit about that now. It's like
No.
whatever song they want is fucking a click away on their
It's like,
phone.
oh, yo, you know what a burned CD is? A what?
Yeah, burning CDs.
Like, you burned them? Like, no.
Now you just go on like TikTok and get like part 27 of like this like 2-hour movie, and there's like Subway Surfers playing underneath it, and you can just watch a whole movie just by scrolling on this guy's feed.
Yep.
They don't know the struggle.
Or like that one guy that was streaming a UFC fight and he had a controller in his hand.
Oh yeah, pretending like he was playing the game.
He was just streaming the pay-per-view, which one it was. And they didn't catch on until people were like, "Oh, hey, he's actually streaming the fight."
That's
It's like,
really funny.
why can't you just have somebody have something?
Yeah, like let us have a little fun. You
Yeah.
know?
Do you watch a lot of the fights, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
Like you know all the guys. Paul, you do too, or not?
I
as
watch.
much?
I watch a decent amount. We were talking off air about some stuff like the John Jones fight that isn't happening, and like his whole career path, and a couple other things with that. But yeah, I definitely dabble in it. Probably not as much as this guy over here, but I dabble in it. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I started watching when I was probably 15 or 16. My oldest brother was always into pro wrestling and stuff, and they would throw the old UFC DVDs. Still real to me, damn it! Still real to me. They throw the old UFC DVDs in the same bin as like the WWE stuff. So he started buying them, playing them in my house. I was watching them, and then just from there, I was just hooked because it was just like, you know, WWE, like the slams and stuff like that are all real. We all know the storylines, the punches, everything like that is all fake. The slams are all
No,
very
it's
much
not.
real.
It's not fake.
Still real to me, damn it.
Well, it's some of them are fake. I've seen some real ones, and then they pay
How
for it
dare you.
afterwards. But yeah, I mean they lump them in with the UFC, and the UFC was just like, I mean their tagline was as real as it gets, and I was hooked ever since. I grew up on fighting games and metal music basically, and that was pretty much right up my alley, and I've just been watching ever since.
Because when did you get into jiu-jitsu? I know we were talking off air a little bit.
I initially started going when I was like 22. Justin had originally signed up at this place, got me, and
DP was doing it too?
yeah, we all signed up basically at the same place because they were like right in Hudson, and then dabbled in it a little bit there, took a break, found another place in Latham, and that's where I go now. It's Henzo Gracie Latham, and went on off for a little bit, started getting a little serious. COVID happened, took a long layoff. I just didn't want to get sick and stuff like that. And gyms like that, it's so hard to control, like if they have like, you know, if there's so much sweat and you're rolling in it and stuff like that, it's so hard to, you know, if one person is sick, if one person is staff, if one person has a cold or anything like that, pretty much everyone is going to get it unless you immediately leave and then scrub every part of your body. But yeah, it's been kind of like an on-off interest of mine for like quite a few years now, and it's always fun. It's always fun to go in there, whether you know something or not, whether I'm going consistently or not. It's always been fun to go in there and just like learn something.
It's one of the most impressive physical sports, I feel like. We deal with athletes in here all day, but like the conditioning that you need and the body control and the strength and the grappling.
Yeah,
Mobility,
Yeah,
all
even
of
the
it.
core strength alone.
Have
for
you had
stuff
have you had
have
an
to do.
injury before?
no, and that was kind of like, that was something I had to like really overcome a lot of like personal anxieties about, was just getting hurt.
'Cause I feel like some dude has your shoulder in some position. It's like, that's terrifying.
If someone, because I know, Paul, you were talking about your Achilles.
Yep.
If you have someone in a leg lock, the difference between you being okay and like where they can tap and be like, okay, you got me, and them like tearing your leg off basically is like that. You don't need a lot of motion because you're not doing that motion regularly or anything like that. It's not a joint that can move that way or anything like that. Like when you have a leg lock on, like it only takes like this much and they're pretty much injured right there. It's some of those holds are pretty intense. Some of them it's like you get a little bit of give and you can just cut an angle and get out of it and stuff like that. But some of them, if it's locked on tight, it's pretty much game over. Tap immediately or you're going to break something.
You feel like you feel better on stage though because you do that, because you train and do jiu-jitsu?
It definitely helps with self-confidence a lot. Just martial arts in general is always just like such a big confidence booster for pretty much anybody. I've found anyone that I talk to, like they're always, you know, kind of anxious or, you know, like they don't really have a lot going or anything like that, and they're not really personable and they don't really have a lot of confidence, and then they go to martial arts for like 6 months and then they feel like they're Superman after. It's like, it's kind of strange how that happens, but it's just kind of like the ability to stick something through and like someone coaching you through something and like basically like physically holding you and proving you that you can do this thing. And that's kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, like when you start, what's it start with? Just like learning holds and learning positions? I'm so intrigued. It's such an interesting sport to me and such a challenging sport.
So like you can you can pretty much, they don't really have like a quote unquote like starter class or anything like that. They have fundamentals, which is like they encourage pretty much everyone to go through, whether, doesn't matter what belt you are. They encourage everyone to go to fundamentals because it's always good to know your fundamentals. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So you can walk in on pretty much any given day and they'll show you whatever technique is just going on at that time. They go through like a schedule, like, you know, we're going to work on this and then that'll segue to this and that'll segue to this. And they'll kind of just do that over, you know, like a month, and then they'll segue it into something else that's kind of similar. So it's like you can walk in pretty much at any given time and just like start learning. You don't really have like a starter kit or anything like that. It's just showing up, and that's, you know, that's relatable to pretty much anything that you ever want to be good at. Just show up and just keep showing up, and eventually you'll get good at it. And you'll be surrounded by people that know what they're doing and want you to be better by proxy because you're training with them. And you know, when you're in a gym, when you're in a gym like that, like you're kind of just like one big family.
Right. Yeah, and putting in the reps, I guess it's like the band probably too, right? Like together and putting in the reps. When did you guys start Phoenix and the Raven?
At the perfect time, during COVID.
It was, it was during COVID. It was, May of 2020, something like that?
Yeah,
So-
I think that's when you guys initially started it as like a project.
Yep.
And then I came on board about like mid to end of August 2020, I think.
Yeah, so we just started it in 2020. It was one of those things where COVID was going on, not a lot was going on or anything like that. And, you know, it was one of those things where it's either you're working an absolute ton and trying to keep yourself clean, or you're not working at all. And that was pretty much the landscape of everything that was going on at the time. And, you know, it's either something to keep your mind occupied because you're bored, or something to keep your mind occupied because you're so stressed doing everything else that you need an outlet. So we started to do that. I had been out of my previous band since April of 2016 was when we played our last show in the last band. So I was off from playing live music for about 4 years or so, and I was just getting itchy. I was kind of running into a wall where I didn't really know what I wanted to do other than work. And for me, I'm not someone that takes my fulfillment as my job. I do my job to do my job. I get my paycheck, I go home, and then I fulfill myself in all my hobbies and stuff like that. So when that opportunity rolled back around again, it was kind of nice to just have something to look forward to and get the creative outlet flowing again and stuff like that. So it was just kind of snowballed into what it is now.
You're all Chatham guys in the band, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of us.
Yeah, because it's us two. We obviously grew up together, graduated together, stuff like that. And then we have Ben Kerner, our singer, who was he 3 grades below us?
I think 2 grades.
Does he have a brother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris.
Paul and I, we looked at the
Confirmed.
name and we're like, yeah, it's a
Confirmed.
fucking Chatham name,
I was
but
like,
we can't put our finger
I
on it.
know it's got to be. There's
Yep.
only, there can't be more than one Kerner family in Chatham.
Exactly.
Yep. Melinda is she's really big in like Chatham and like Chatham politics and stuff like that. And then Chris is his older brother. And then Gary Wood, our guitarist, who started getting a little close to us when I was in my previous band, and he was probably, I was in my early 20s at the time, and he was probably about 15, 16, stuff like that. And like, dude, he's so good. He's such a good guitarist.
Like, do you guys do band in high school, or no?
Nope.
But are you playing in high school on your own?
I didn't start playing an instrument until I was 16. I was, as probably everyone in Chatham and anyone that is any remotely close to me knows, I was obsessed with Guitar Hero. And that just wound up being a transferable skill down the line to me knowing about rhythm and stuff like that. So I started getting obsessed with the game, got really good at it. Couldn't find anyone to beat me. They had online mode. Really hard time finding people to beat me online.
Like online playing people from anywhere.
Anywhere,
no
pretty
one's
much,
beating
yeah.
you.
And you're still just shitting all over him.
On one of the games, I
was.
was top 5 in wins, and I was playing on the hardest difficulty. Like,
Tell
it was,
them how good. Tell them what you could do with the hardest song in the game.
Oh, that's like nothing now, which is like hilarious. But yeah, no, I stopped running into songs that I could beat. Through the Fire and Flames was like the big token one. I got like 500,000 points on that, which was like at the time.
What's like a
pretty
relative
ridiculous.
thing? What's like a normal amount of points for a human to
you
get?
don't pass it.
No
you
one
fail.
passes
People
that
usually
song
fail,
unless
what,
you're good
10
enough to
Paul,
seconds?
pass
look up
that
what
song.
the passing rate
What
is
is
on
it?
this.
What is it?
Jay, play the song.
It's Through the Fire and
Through
the
the Fire and
Flames.
Flames
This
by
is
Dragon
fucking
Force.
now. This is how you got into playing music or being interested in playing music.
I can literally only describe it by transferable skill, because this game taught me about rhythm, because it started with the guitar controller and then switched to the drum controller. And then at the time I was binge listening to Metallica, which is like my favorite band of all time. And I looked up videos on Lars Ulrich playing,
And that's
pieced it together in my
Metallica
brain.
drummer,
Yep.
right, Lars?
And then pieced it together in my brain. The Metallica game came out. I played that game. I jumped literally from medium to expert just by me piecing things together. And then my brother's friend brought his drum kit over. He sat me down on it and he goes, try to play one of the songs from the game, because you already know the motions for it. And I played Whiplash and Jump in the Fire by Metallica pretty much straight off. And they were just like, how the hell did you do that? I'm like, I played it in the game. It's pretty much the same motions. You just gotta, this pad equals what this drum is, and this pad equals what this cymbal is, and stuff like that. And you just kind of, I went down what I can only describe as a very unhinged obsession with looking up on YouTube, watching all these drummers, listening to Metallica, placing those notes, stuff like that. I looped their first 5 albums, I kid you not, probably 60 times at a shot, while I would just sit there and play Halo with all of my friends at the time, Devin, Jordan, Justin, our buddy Brad. And I just sat there and looped them day in, day out. I was on that game 6 hours a day or something like that, talking to all my friends and stuff like that, and I would just be playing in the
And this is
background.
just in the background. You're just soaking it in.
It was me
Subconsciously.
downloading, really not me listening to the music. It was me downloading it and just like figuring everything out. And by the time I was like 17, I could play their first 5 albums, not only the regular recorded way, but their live stuff too, no matter which way they played it live. And it just went down this crazy rabbit hole, and here I am 14 years later.
That's unfucking real. Stop. Does this blow your mind?
Well, I knew it.
I mean, you knew it.
I knew
but
it,
I mean, but just like
it's
seeing
just
all this.
knowing how like talented and skilled of a musician Brandon is, it all just makes sense. Because you can just be like, all right, this is the BPM that we're going for. Just throw in a little bit of thrash metal and see what we got.
How many people, when you were 16, would probably just shit on you for playing Guitar Hero? It's like...
I didn't get a lot, because I was very like reclusive. I kind of stayed to my own. I have literally the same group of friends that I had since I was like 7. So
I'm just jealous because I always wanted to be really good at Guitar Hero, and I fucking sucked at it. I was so bad.
There's no like pass rate for that song.
I was trying to find it. I was trying to find like the highest score of all time on it.
Oh, the highest score now is like, it's something absurd. Like there's still a strong community of it, like online and stuff like that. And these guys are absolutely insane. Some dude just set a Guinness record because he played, I think it was Freebird from Guitar Hero 2, and he played it like on like 3 times speed and hit every note. And I was like, I could never do that.
What's 200? Is that what like 275% speed is?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what they said. The new world record, which
Yep.
was in 2021 for Through the Fire and the Flames, he passed it at a 275% speed.
Yeah, so he played the song 2 3/4 faster than the regular song, and then hit every note. Like I could never do that, but I felt like I could, and I definitely played it like I wanted to. But it was just like a crazy obsessive like rabbit hole. And at the time, it was kind of cool too, because Justin at the time, he had been playing instruments since you were like 12. You were dabbling in guitar and dabbling in bass guitar, and your dad's a drummer and stuff like that.
You're a bass player?
Yep,
for the
I'm the
band
bass
now?
player. Initially, my initial interest was actually playing guitar, because watching AC/DC, you see Angus Young up there going absolutely
AC/DC.
freaking nuts, and just learning things, because I had a little bit of the mental like stage fright at first, because I was like, I'm a big guy, people are gonna judge me, but watching Angus Young, the reason why he moves around the way that he does, and even one time he tripped over his own guitar cord and started just like spazzing on the ground like he was being electrocuted, was all because he has stage fright. So I was just like, how does that make sense? You have everybody looking at you by doing what you're doing, but you're also afraid that they're going to judge you, or you're going to screw up and they're going to boo you. And he was just like, look, if I can't see the crowd, I can't be any sort of intimidated by them. And I was like, you know what? Makes sense. So then going from watching him to seeing somebody like Meatloaf, who was more my size, huge influence on me, because he was a huge stage presence, had the biggest voice that you could think of for the 70s and 80s. And just from there, I just kind of like went down the rabbit hole of, all right, well, I can be a musician because you got Meatloaf up there who's like 300 pounds or whatever he was. I'm getting pretty close at that point. I can do it too. So I just kind of started going down the rabbit hole of listening to Meatloaf, listening to AC/DC all the time, and then that transcribed from that.
I'm saying, let's play the big Meatloaf song.
No,
There you go.
Meatloaf
Meatloaf
is
could
it.
sing though.
Yeah, Meatloaf could sing, and I actually got to meet him too.
No
which
shit.
is really
That's
cool.
sick.
Because he passed away within the last few years, I feel.
Yeah,
right?
he did. He actually caught COVID, and he just died from that because he didn't want the vaccine or anything. So that became a whole political thing, but people wouldn't just look at it and be like, this is sad, Meatloaf died.
Yes, it's just a human being.
Yeah,
A great
and
He
people
just
are like,
lost a
oh, that's
legend.
what you get for not being vaccinated. Just,
Listen,
okay.
listen, people got fucking crazy around COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are still fucking crazy.
I gotta point out, you're talking about someone dying. You can't play that song in the background while we do that.
Oh, we absolutely can.
we have the technology.
Oh, you're killing me.
But he was at a Monster Mania convention down in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So Monster Mania is just like all these huge horror icons and people who are just in that industry get together and you can meet them, take pictures, just talk with them.
This is why the spooky episode would have been perfect.
I'm so sorry.
Remember,
I just had to throw it in there, throw a little jab.
I know it still hurts.
We can still talk about it afterwards. It just leaks over. It's fine.
Yeah. But like it was really cool because I was in line to meet Meatloaf and then all of a sudden Neve Campbell from Scream, the final girl, the first ever real final girl besides like Ripley from Aliens, she comes walking out in front of me and I'm like, holy shit, that is Sydney from Scream. And then she just looked at me and I didn't want to make a scene or anything and draw attention. So it was just like, this is pretty cool. And
Did you
she's
say
like,
hi?
Yeah, I just kind of like gave her the head nod. Like, I'm not going to openly say who you are and get people excited. But she's like, having fun? I was just like, yep, having a blast. And then she just went to her next signing or whatever the hell she was doing.
You think she knew you knew who she was?
Probably.
Yeah, that
Because
had
she
not
looks
probably given it
exactly
away.
like she does back in the 90s, just with a little bit more of
Paul,
like...
show me her. What's the name?
Who is it?
that is Neve Campbell, Neve.
Oh yeah.
Should I know this, Jay?
You'll know her face, I assume.
Yeah, she's literally in almost
Oh
every
yeah.
Scream
You'll know
movie.
her face.
Spinning
She
her
looks
out.
exactly the same, just old, but like, just she's aged a little. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
she's-
looking though, stuff.
She's
Yeah.
in what else is she in? She's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah, mostly she's just been in like Scream though. That's where everybody knows her from, with like David Arquette and.
Wasn't she in like a? Oh yeah, she was in a witch movie.
Oh yeah, she was in The Craft.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I feel.
And,
like.
and that's what she was
looks
there
like that.
for.
She
'Cause
looks
they-
like that.
Yeah, they actually had like a Craft reunion.
Okay.
So like her, Farouja Bulk, and a whole bunch of other people all came together, and we're just having a reunion. So we all just got to hang out. I was hanging out trying to wait for Meatloaf, and then my friends were outside and they had Dolph Lundgren walk by them.
Jeez, what a
What?
party this was.
Yeah,
What?
it was wild.
I need to be at this party.
Did you head nod him too?
No, I didn't see him. Surprisingly, how big he is.
Did you say if he dies, he dies?
I mean, I definitely would have. Just, sir, can you just duff me
just-
in the face?
I definitely say that in here way more than I should. So yeah.
Did anybody else watch that Stallone documentary on Netflix?
Not yet, but I
haven't.
saw
No,
it on
did you watch
Netflix.
it?
Yeah, impressive. I felt like I heard it at one point, but that he wrote and produced
Yeah, he
like
did.
everything that
Yeah.
he did,
Yeah.
which is unreal.
And they
to-
didn't want to make because they didn't want to make Rocky. Nobody wanted to make it.
Yeah, that was the crazy
Nobody
story.
wanted to cast him,
Yeah, that's
right?
what it
So
was.
he created a role for
Right.
himself.
They didn't want to cast
Paul, can you
him.
put me up with the Jeffersons right here?
And he wrote everything on it, was presenting it, but he was presenting it in a way where he wanted to be the main guy and they wanted to get their own guy
That's
and
what it
everything
was,
like
yeah.
that. Like it was, but yeah, that craziness.
It's impressive. It's like, how do you guys go about writing a song? 'Cause I feel like that's like music. It's like we need a meaning, and we need a rhythm, and we need lyrics, and we need. Where's it even start? That's good,
So-
Paul. Thank you.
For me, just I don't really write that many like whole songs or anything like that. If anything,
one of you guys finish that off.
if anything, I'll pitch a concept to someone who can write lyrics because I can't write lyrics really for anything. I've written maybe probably like 2 or 3 full songs or anything like that. The rest of it is just like pitching like a concept to someone who can.
What do you mean, like a concept? This is what the song's going to be about. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
like
about this.
I'll give them a premise. I like to give at least a certain set of parameters for something that I have in mind. Like, yeah, I want it this fast, this type of style, something like that. Like, see what you can do.
But that's
maybe
like
you
what-
like it, maybe you don't.
But that's like what you do. That's how you learn through,
Yeah.
like what you said before.
And that's really, that was like my approach to it. So I'm not really like the primary songwriter like that, but if it comes to like my instrument and like what I do, I like to, I'll just kind of like give like a really like kind of copy paste basic thing. And then as I play it more, I'll be like, okay, I can fit this in. I can fit this in. This is the style that we're going for. This kind of fits the flow. I kind of want to stay in the pocket during this song, stuff like that. And once we have everything kind of like in this kind of like rough draft, I'll be playing things. And if I want to try something, I'll be like, hey, let's try this. Like, I don't want it to, I'm not telling you like, yeah, you got to do this. Like, this is your job. Like, I want you to do this no matter what. It's like, we'll try out a couple of things. See if it sticks. If it sticks, cool. If it doesn't, then we tried it and we'll move on. And that was kind of always like my approach to it. I like coming up with concepts and feeding it to someone that can do it, because I'm just like, yeah, I had kind of a part in it. They wrote literally all the lyrics, but I still had a part in it.
like
That's
a-
kind of like my stake in it.
Right.
So it's like a very like hands-on, hands-off type deal with it.
It's like you're the person trying to get a tattoo, and you're giving the concept to the artist.
Exactly.
And
Pretty much.
then
Yeah.
they go, all right, I got it.
And
Let's
then
go."
and they'll do the same thing with me. They're like, we want to do like this speed, this beat, stuff like that. And then I'll do that. I'll regurgitate something. They'll be like, okay, that's cool. And then I'll just kind of just take that and just evolve it to wherever it may lie at the end of it by either the time we record it, or maybe I'll just really like that and I'll just stick with it till we do eventually wind up recording it.
The supplement industry is like the Wild West. The lack of regulations mean the supplements you purchase may not even contain the ingredients listed on the label, which is why I get my daily vitamins and supplements from Thorne. Thorne vitamins and supplements are made without compromise. Quality ingredients ensure your body optimally absorbs and digests your daily supplements, while in-house and third-party testing ensure you're getting exactly what you paid for. Thorne offers a variety of health tests reviewed by board-certified physicians that evaluate your lifestyle, gut health, sleep, stress hormones, and metabolic markers to determine which vitamins and supplements may be most effective in helping you feel and perform better throughout the day. For college and professional athletes, Thorne has NSF-certified supplements that make sure you won't get pop positive on a drug test. Whether you're an athlete, professional, parent, grandparent, or weekend warrior, Thorne's selection of high-quality supplements can help improve your quality of life. Switch to Thorne's high-quality and extensively tested supplements today at thorne.com/u/CDSF. That's thorne.com/u/CDSF. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Anchor and the all-new Anchor Pro, crafted to endure the most high-performance workouts without the high cost and space requirements of a standard cable machine. Named the best portable cable machine by Men's Health Home Gym Awards, Anchor provides the full functionality of a cable machine in one small space-saving unit. Designed with user-friendliness in mind, Anchor can simply be attached to any squat rack or placed on any wall in your home gym using its intuitive sliding track mount. With up to 65 pounds of resistance, Anchor is built for high speed and controlled exercises alike, from cable presses and rows to chops and lifts. The Anchor has been a game changer for us here at CDSF, and now you can enjoy the same professional quality cable machine in your own home gym by heading over to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Get all the benefits of a cable machine without the high cost and installation fees. Enjoy the portable luxury and space-saving performance of Anchor today by going to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 at checkout. That's anchortraining.com, promo code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Where do you come in the creative process, Stup?
Yep. So Gary will listen to whatever Brandon's got going on.
Gary's your guitar player.
Yes. Yep. So he'll kind of come up
Gary's
with a,
guitar.
I love that
Brandon
you're
is
all
drums,
chatting
bass.
people. It's like that is so. I mean, I lived in Boston for a bit, Paul, New York City, like bigger areas. But up here, we deal with bigger school districts. It's like a Shen where you have like a 800 graduating class, and other schools that kind of fall a little bit below that. But Chatham, it's like one of the beauties of a small town is like you lock in on these friendships at a young age, and like,
yeah,
keep
you just
'em, and
hold on to them.
you hold on to them, and they're so valuable. And people that don't, I guess, didn't grow up like that or don't have that, it's hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
You know, like we meet people and it's like, oh, I have, 3 real close friends from college and one friend from high school and these 2 buddies I met at work. And it's like the guys I talk to the most, I mean, Paul owns this business with me. We've known each other since we were 7 years old, you know,
Yeah.
playing on fucking Rusty Gulliver's
Yep.
VFW Little League team. It's like
I literally live with my like childhood like best friend. Like you know, he went to Chatham, he went to ended up at Columbia.
we got DP over here.
DP
Shout out
over
Devin
here.
Purdue.
Devin Purdue's over
You
there.
know, we had Cody and Alex and all
Nickel,
them on.
yeah.
You know, so it's like it's cool. Like when you come from a small town, like you do keep those close connections. Like very much. So, like the people I talk to the most, like he said, are all people I grew up with. Like I talk to like a few college friends here and there, and like I still am close with like a couple friends down in New York City, like very close with them. But through it all, it's like I keep the same close knit group, and like you even said, like you have the same group of friends that you grew up with since you were like 7 years old.
Yep,
Yeah.
literally.
So-
And it's funny too because it's like I wasn't even like an original like Chathamite as they call us. I was from a private school, and then once I left the private school, I came to Chatham. And
How old were you when you came to Chatham? Fourth grade?
Fourth grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you
'cause
know
I-
that, Paul?
Because he literally said it, and I said it right after him.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, everybody.
But it's like, it literally was like he said it, and as I was about to ask it, and I was like, well, I guess I know the answer now.
I have good listening skills. That one just just went over.
I don't
me.
know if it was because it was in my headphones and it like hit my headphones before Mike's. We'll just
No,
go
that's
with that.
bullshit. That's
For
just
sure.
my
There's a little
poor
bit of a
listening.
lag.
But it's funny because I like even the kids that I went to private school with, like I went to school with them like for such a small window, but like I still either see them or I touch base with them from time to time and stuff like that. And I've literally known them for 27 of my 30 years on this planet. Like I just keep the same friends, you know. I still make friends along the way and stuff like that, but you know, no place like home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what's nice too with our shows is that a lot of Chathamites do come out for support and stuff.
Is that
and
what we calling it? Chathamites?
Chathamites.
I think
Yeah,
that's I think
I
that's
like
a good
it.
one.
I like
That's
it.
been the
It's
phrase
better
I've been
than like
using
whatever
forever.
you would say. Like I saw something. I don't know. Like you can't put like an IAN at the end of that.
Yeah,
Chathamians? No.
Chathamians?
Chathamites.
But like
Chathamite's a good word.
Yeah.
yeah, but we had a whole bunch of people like that come out for our Halloween show that we did. And then I also had a whole bunch of people from Lowe's that I used to work at like years ago just show up randomly, which was really cool. And it's just like when you go out to these shows and you start seeing all these frequent people that always come out to shows, they kind of become a part of your family too. So that way, whenever you're at a show, you know, like somebody from this band's going to be there because they like hanging out and talking with us. And then we got our promoter, shout out to Mike Valeni. Always a great time to hang out with him in between sets and stuff like that. And it's nice because you just build like this whole other community outside of our regular community. And that way it just feels like just one giant family when we're all together.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It's like the gym. It's like here people come and work out, but it's a community. That's
Yeah.
why they continue to come and work out.
You know, like a scenario where you like walk in and you're just like, oh, it's been an established community for so long, and then you like slowly just become part of it. That's the Albany music scene. They were regarded at one point or another as like the most bands per capita of the whole country. It was like 180 bands per 10,000 people or something like that. It was an absurd amount of people in the local music industry and stuff like that, and just people going into clubs. Like when I first started going to clubs back in like 2011, 2012, like the dive bar scene, like your, you know, Bogies, Savannahs, Jillian's, Valentine's, they would pack these 300 person like clubs and stuff like that, literally wall to wall with all of these crazy kids just there for local music. And the community was so ridiculous. And it was just like, you'd have this band that's on, they'd get off stage. At least one of those kids was about to go on again because they were in another band with some other kids. And it was just this like rotating thing, and everyone was in there to see all of those local bands because you never knew what crazy popular band was just going to spring up out of all of them.
Right. It's like how's it been, and what conscious work have you put in to grow the band? Because I think it's maybe comparable to a small business. It's like people don't know who we are. Here we are, and I have to get out there. And you have the internet you want to grow on. I feel like that's the most vast space. But then you have the local scene you said is so big.
Oh yeah. If you take out like the music and just take the music as just like a commodity or a product or something like that, it is absolutely a small business. Or, you know, depending on how big you are, a very large business. And it's, you know, you have your commodity, you have your product, you're trying to promote it, you're trying to do things for it, and then you're trying to present it to people, which is you going to shows and stuff like that. you show face at other shows to try to, you know, schmooze and talk to people and stuff like that. But you also want to support the bands because, I mean, like, not for nothing, but like a lot of these local bands are actually quite good.
Yeah, they're
Like,
killing it.
Is everybody supportive of each other?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
bands to bands? Has it always been like that since you've been in it?
As long as I've
Yeah.
seen it, yeah.
See, that's so cool because our industry is fucking weird where people are, it's like a lot of, I guess it's just a lot of younger, mostly younger guys with egos, and they're kind of stuck in like, this is
Yeah.
how I do things. Maybe you do things differently, but it's not how I do things. So I disagree with you, and it's a lot of shitting on each other on the internet, not supporting each other in each other's ventures. It's the complete opposite of what you guys
Yeah.
do, which is a shame.
It's a lot more cutthroat.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, and it
No.
shouldn't be.
Like I think of, so I have a buddy that works with my roommate, and he's big into like heavy metal. He does he has like his own record label. He was in the Troy Record at one point, but you know, it's a struggle. And he works with a lot of like independent artists to try to get their music out there. A lot of artists that are like overseas and whatnot. And
Is that Jordy on a seltzer?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
is
you guys,
that
it's-
one? Is that number one?
You guys, it's a known thing in the gym. People that have seen us do the podcast, have been on it, have been around it. They'll see Jordy walk in. The other day, Jordy came in, they go, Jordy, how many seltzers today?
I try to keep tabs during the episode, but usually it ends after I say, "Oh, is that the first one?" and then I forget to keep tabs.
I don't get why it's any
Because
sort
there
of
was the
deal.
one episode that you drank like 3 or 4 of
Well,
them.
Rob made a thing of
Yeah,
it. 'cause you had,
Rob,
like
that's
4
what-
stacked.
You had them
Rob-
stacked
I
up.
shouldn't have stacked them vertically.
It was the vertical.
Yeah, it was the vertical stack.
Did you ever make a wizard staff before with the beers you drank in college? Or no?
There's
No, just seltzers.
I've definitely done that. Yeah.
Yes? Stuff, have you?
I mean,
there's
there
a
probably
picture-
has been a couple nights where I've probably done something similar.
There's
or more in
definitely
the
a-
box of the 30 rack or something.
There's definitely a picture archived because Mike was like, "Hey, there's a couple pictures like on your old Instagram. Probably gotta."
Okay, I did that. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Was
and I
a
looked at
wizard
that-
staff one of them?
Oh, there was definitely. I was sitting there like, and there was a stack of just.
A wizard staff is if you get like a couple of 30s with you and your friends for the night, and whenever you finish a beer, you just duct tape it on top of the next beer, and
Yep.
you just
Hell
make
yeah.
a giant
I should do that.
staff.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
party.
good time.
You got to get, since you have all those samples, you got to get just a ASMR sample of just you opening a seltzer. If it gets too quiet, just drop one of them in there.
Jay, do you have a sample of stuff on there at all, or no?
No, it was the plan, but okay, I'll be honest. So
You have to be honest on here.
Devin
We
and
don't
I-
like to lie here.
We have a favorite video of Stubbs when he's puking from from over drinking.
Dev, were you there for that?
Yeah. So I cut it. I cut the clip.
Did you have to hold his beard back?
No, I think at the time I didn't have a beard.
That's a great beard, by the way.
Thank you.
Wait, so why couldn't you get it onto the SD?
Oh no! It was disgusting.
Yeah, that was actually on my
Yeah.
birthday, I think.
So I
right?
deleted. I have it on my phone. I could.
Stops. I've been there, especially on your birthday.
If you want it,
You think it's everybody would tune out. It's that bad.
it's pretty fucking.
Yeah,
gross.
let's not fucking do
From
it
what I
then.
remember, I think it was pretty rough.
There
But
was,
it was just like, it wasn't even that I was just super, super hammered. It was just so much carbonation.
Oh,
because
yeah.
people were
That's
just
what gets
feeding
you.
me pints of beer.
That's what happened.
And I drank like 8 or 9 pints that night, and it was just sitting in my stomach.
I don't think there is such a thing as a video of someone just vomiting like that that's not rough.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
fair.
that exists.
no. Like,
Yeah, dude, I went to this. I don't know when this was. 2017. This TPI certification course. So it's a Titleist Performance Institute. It's like, you know, PGA swing coaches are there, and guys that work with strength coaches that work with guys on the PGA tour. So with the best golfers in the world. And it's a course where you're just analyzing their swings and how their body moves and how you can apply stuff in the gym to help improve their swing and not have them get hurt and increase their drive and all that. Yeah, so I fucking eat a bunch of food, I drink too much, go back to my hotel room by myself, and just fucking get so sick, and I'm puking all night. And I go into the course the next day, and I sit down. Guy comes next to me, "Hey, I'm Mike. How you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "I couldn't sleep last night. The guy in the room next to me was fucking throwing up all night." And I was like, "Oh, that's terrible. Like, I'm so sorry."
That must have been really bad
I
for
was
you.
like, "What are the fucking chances?"
his name was Mike too.
No, I don't know his name.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, "Hi, I'm Mike."
Oh,
Nice
I
to
think
meet you."
his name was Mike. I was
But
like, holy
I
shit.
said, "How are you doing?" Just a small talk. He said, "I'm not too good. I couldn't sleep."
I thought
I was
my,
like, "No fucking."
That guy
my
sounds like an
story was
asshole
good.
next to you.
Just really.
I just remember going home, walking home on my birthday, and when I was living in New York City, it was like my 29th birthday. I'm with my buddy Jay, who lived with me, And we're walking home, and like I don't throw up from drinking. I could probably count on both hands how many times I've thrown up. And I'm like sitting there. We're like a block and a half from my apartment, and I'm like, nope, Jay, it's not gonna happen. I literally just turn to like right next to a big ass garbage can, just boot it. I'm like, all right, let's go. And just walk home. I'm like, we're good. Let's go. And I probably could have kept drinking after that. I felt like $1 million, but I was just like, no, like I'm not making it home. It's not gonna happen. Jay was like, you were so close, dude. And then I looked at my shoes the next morning and I was like, ooh, yeah, we're tossing those.
They're unsalvageable.
I've been so deathly afraid of like puking, like basically since I was in my teens, and like these guys all know it. I have like a defense mechanism for puking, no matter what the situation. If I'm drinking, if I just like ate something that was bad or anything like that, I lay down. I tell everyone, if you touch me, I will throw up. Don't touch me, and I'll stiff arm them. If they even try to come close to me, whether they're offering me water, a blanket, anything like that, I will literally stiff arm them. Get away from me. If you touch me, I'll throw up on the spot. And then I force myself to sleep. That's my defense mechanism. It has worked pretty much every single time. I do not remember another time that it's ever not worked.
I mean, I used to do the Irish goodbye when I was in college because I'd be like, oh, the room's spinning. All right, I'm leaving. And then I'd go lay down and I'd be fine.
That's my power move. I do that sober.
What's the
I do it all the
What's the
time.
Will Ferrell movie when he doesn't know how to throw up? Is it It's the basketball one.
Semi-pro?
It's
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro, yeah. And there's some scene where they like got to make him throw up.
Jeez.
Yo, Will Ferrell's
forgot
got some
about
classics.
He does.
Yeah,
Step Brothers alone.
Step Brothers is great. You know what else is like low key good is The Other Guys.
Oh, The Other Guys
I
is
love that
his most
one.
underrated movie.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like
I think
ever.
that's easily the most underrated Will Ferrell
100%.
movie.
Wahlberg.
Especially when he was going off, Gators bitches better be wearing jimmies.
I just did my first desk pop.
Yeah, don't fucking desk pop with that pocket knife over there. Stuff.
Hey, don't hit me.
I think it's like that one and The Candidate. Because I don't know anyone that
That's
knows
with
what
John
The
C.
Candidate
Reilly
is.
too.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're just a great combo. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell's a great combo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like David Spade and Farley back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. R.I.P.
Yeah, yeah. You're,
Tommy Boy. What a classic.
Absolutely.
It's like definitely my top 5 funny movies.
He's my favorite comedian of all time.
Farley?
Not even close.
100%.
I saw Adam Sandler live in New Hampshire, and he did a whole like tribute song to him.
I saw
and
that.
it was so fucking good. I like almost cried, but I was like also like this is really fucking good.
Yeah. The song actually like it's so like sincere and from the heart.
Right. I'm
But
like,
then it's
but in the
also
most
so
Adam
witty
Sandler
and
way.
funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
like,
just like you
do I
can't help but
laugh?
just enjoy it. But
I'm
you
just gonna
also
enjoy it.
feel what Adam was going through when he
Right.
wrote that song.
And it breaks me up too because it's like obviously one of his most iconic skits ever is the Chippendale skit.
Yep.
And it's widely known as like one of his most famous. That's like the one like people have it on shirts, people have it on posters, stuff like that. But it's almost it's a not as known fact that he hated that skit because he didn't want to be like the fat guy next to the super slim guy, stuff like that, because he was Patrick Swayze. And he hated that skit. He didn't want to like expose himself like that and stuff like that. And I mean, everyone loved it. But
and
like,
that skit's so physical.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he is like his physical comedy is just like so ridiculous because you don't expect someone that big.
Is he your favorite comedian?
Oh yeah, and I know
I'm
exactly.
probably gonna
I know
watch Tom
exactly
Boy
what Devin showed you too.
Dude,
Yeah, no, it's I have a tattoo of him on my calf.
that's what
Wait,
the note I was
you have
just
a tattoo
giving.
of Chris Farley?
Oh yeah,
That's fucking awesome.
it's him from the decaffeinated coffee crystal skit from SNL.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
that's so
I
great.
love that. It's like
And-
Adam Sandler's my favorite comedian, hands down. Like it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up on him. I could recite lines from his movies.
He's probably top 3 for me. It's probably
I thought you were gonna drop the other one, but we'll save that for later.
I
just killed
Weave. When I worked in Boston, I had a client, and I can just vouch on her word. But what's that Mr. from? That's a Sandler move.
that was
That's a
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
that's when she gets the air conditioning drop it on
Yeah.
her. The air conditioner drops on
Just
her.
here, let me fix it for you. Boom.
No, but Weave. Listen to this. I had a client in Boston, and she told me, I don't know where. He said she was in. This seems like a bullshit story. She said she was in church, and she said Chris Farley was there wherever they were.
In spirit.
This is when he was alive. This was back when. She had her granddaughter with her, and they have to, that you stand up, you sit down, sit up, sit down. And that he was mess around with her granddaughter, and when they weren't supposed to stand up, he would stand up and get her to stand up, and then sit down, and she would sit down. Yeah, but shows that's who he was even off the TV. If that's true.
That's the running trend of what I've heard from like either people that were close to him or people that had like met him at parties and stuff like that. It was also kind of like a not as known fact that Tommy Boy was pretty much a top to bottom like homage to his father.
Yes,
that entire movie was an homage to his father.
I feel like I remember like reading that or seeing that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And that was, I mean, it's cool even looking back and watching that because that's his most famous solo movie.
I literally might watch it tonight when I go home. Can you imagine Grown Ups with Chris Farley?
Oh my God!
Like because he would be in it, 100%.
100%. Well, it's like I think I saw a meme or something years ago that was just like Chris Farley, if he were alive today, would have all of Kevin James's roles.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was just like, as much as I love Kevin James, I'm like, I could see that.
Why is the Kevin James meme been going around the internet?
I don't
you
know,
see
but
that?
I'm here
It's
for
like
it. Yeah,
him
where it's just like
a headshot from like 2006. Like it wasn't even.
It's literally from like King of
So the
Queens.
It's
thing
from
is
King
that-
of Queens, not
like,
even like a movie.
Kids don't know who he is on the internet now. That's
Hey,
that's
listen,
the thing.
Jordy, shout out Kevin James, Cortland alumni.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Cortland
that.
alum.
Like one semester. I dropped out.
He's still a Cortland alum.
He was
You know
still
what?
there.
Close enough.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Stop. You're a horror movie guy too.
Yep.
Tell me your favorite.
Huge. Oof. I mean, there's my favorite really shitty horror movies, and then there's actually like the good ones. Like
What's
one
your
of
favorite shitty one?
my favorite shitty one, and our buddy Josh still hates me to this day for it. I love the movie Pitchfork. It's so bad and such a horrible, stupid concept because it's just this hillbilly dude that is like rabbit in the brain kind of, and he just like lost his hand somehow. They barely elaborate on it. And he just has a pitchfork for a hand wrapped in barbed wire, and he's just killing people. And I'm just like, for what it is, I can appreciate it because it's really shitty, but the graphics and like the special effects are amazing.
Listen, sometimes you gotta have a really shitty
Can I
good
see this
movie.
guy killing people with his pitchfork?
No,
dude?
but I'm reading a synopsis.
Go,
Stop. It
give me a
says,
review.
Hunter and friends travel back to his family farm in rural Michigan after sharing a deep secret with his conservative family. What's the secret?
He gay.
Shocker, conservative family.
But he's got a pitchfork for a hand.
No, he doesn't, but the person that's killing everybody does.
Oh,
But he just kind of shows up out of nowhere, and he just starts killing people left and right. And even at a point when he's like coming after the parents, you kind of are like, you know what? Thanks. But just leave the gay guy alone. He's been through enough.
Talk about a film industry that literally just doesn't care. Like they will make a movie about whatever they want and they don't care who sees it.
No, not at all.
Jay, do you know the recent one that they just dropped a trailer for? Your particular business had just dropped a trailer for it the other day.
No, go on.
Bad CGI Gator,
I don't know anything about
which
it.
is literally the title of the movie.
Is
That's
that
the
what it
title
is
of
as
the
well?
movie?
It is
Oh my
about a
God.
bad CGI gator eating people.
I actually haven't even seen anything on this.
Interesting.
I kind of stopped tuning
no shame,
in after
literally
like,
no
Sharknado
shame, and
5.
I admire them for not having shame with that. But I watched the trailer and I couldn't even believe I was watching that.
did
in
anybody see
2023.
Cocaine Bear?
Yeah, I did.
Worth it or no?
No.
No.
Is it worth it if I'm watching it at home?
No.
It's not even entertaining.
Really-
No, it's a bad movie.
Really unfortunate because that was Ray Liotta's last movie.
It is.
know.
It is
Yeah.
really-
Another
that's a shame.
R&B. Oh,
How do you go from Goodfellas to that?
because
cocaine.
they paid you a lot of freaking money.
Probably.
probably. Then lack of roles after Goodfellas.
Right. And the fact that like, you can only play the same character so many times.
Yeah.
So
Or so many Chantix commercials.
yeah,
Yeah, that
He
too.
was the face of Chantix for a while.
he was. Shout out Ray Liotta.
One of my like favorite horror movies that wasn't extremely shitty was actually Train to Busan, which is a foreign film, but it's dubbed in English. And it's just a zombie Korean film.
I have a hard time with the dubs.
I do too.
I'm not
I
a
I
roast.
usually do
That's-
too, but there's just the movie was so well put together and like the storyline's so good that
Jed, what are you laughing at over there?
but,
We're
like,
watching bad
enjoy it.
CGI gators.
Spin it around. Let us watch it too.
Side
You
note.
just look over, you see DP and fucking Jordan just dying.
Side note. Train to Busan is actually fantastic. It is really good.
Give us some
Like when I think of like bad shitty movies, I think of like funny movies and like,
yeah.
like Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
favorite like shitty movies. That's so, and it actually has like a good score on like all the like metrics and
Show,
whatnot.
show me this gator of like attractive females that have to die in a horror movie for it to be good. I just saw 2 in that preview.
Probably for a decent horror movie, at least like 4. Because I know like Scream really did that.
If
like,
you're
we were talking
naked or
about Neve
having
Campbell
sex in a
earlier.
horror movie, you are dying.
Dead immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately dying.
And they actually make fun of that in the first Scream because it was making fun of all the horror movie stereotypes. You can't have sex. If you're not a virgin, you're going to die.
Yep.
Like, and if you're like a person of color or something, you're going to get taken out.
Yep.
And it's just all these stupid rules,
And
but
they're
it
always
was
trying
all
to the person
true.
like somebody's always trying to save somebody. That person dies.
Yep.
Always.
Self-sacrifice.
You know what movie fucked me up in my childhood?
What's that?
Was The Ring.
Oh, I was
Oh,
just gonna
yeah.
say that The Ring, it was fucked up. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, Samara. Just
Samara
coming at
got
you.
me.
I could not for like a year if a TV went to like that
Snowy screen or something.
I fucking shit my pants.
So you guys were at that age. Did what
Are you
was
saying
the,
I'm old?
What was no? It just so happened because you were the demographic that could like go to the movies at the time
is
to
fair.
go see those movies. What was the one with the aliens and Mel Gibson? M. Night Shyamalan.
Signs.
The Signs.
Signs.
Good
Were you
movie.
in? Were you in that generation
Yes, we
that it
were
messed
there.
you guys up?
Jordan and I were talking about M. Night Shyamalan
I think I
movies
did. I don't think I
yesterday.
watched it because it messed too many people. I was like, no.
I
was a great
heard
movie.
about it
Great
and never
movie, though.
watched
Great
it at
movie.
the time, and then I watched it like years later. I was like, "What are you guys talking about? I'm like, this is dumb."
Well, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Listen, you
Either
weren't-
hits or miss.
Yeah,
you weren't
exactly.
14 at the time.
Yeah, exactly. And that was
Okay.
I missed the boat on it.
Is it hard stuff for the older movies to hold up? Because like just like the not having the CGI and the
Sorta.
effects makes it seem too fake and silly.
Sort of, kind of, but there's also a nostalgia with it too. So like with the original Evil Dead series, like 1 and 2, and then they had the Army of Darkness series after that. All that stuff still kind of holds up to today because it's just so out there from back in the time that you just can't help but appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
The same thing with The Exorcist too. Because
Right.
The Exorcist, for its time, even till today, still holds up to a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, it does.
I have that same premise with like music and stuff like that. It's like I don't care how bad like the actual production value
The
is.
nostalgia is what gets you.
The nostalgia and just the, I mean, if it's good music, it's good music. It doesn't matter if it's recorded on a Teddy Ruxpin or $1 million studio. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as it's good, you know what I mean? And you know, some of those older horror movies were made on like nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure Evil Dead was made on like literally like less than $1,000 or something like that. It was something ridiculous,
obnoxious
something really
amount of money.
low.
I think it was under like 10 grand or something like that.
It was a passion project from Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, and they threw it together. And that whole franchise is a cult classic.
And for those who don't know, Sam Raimi also did the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So he went from making a really shitty horror movie with barely any production
fucking
budget
awesome
to
Spider-Man movie.
literally Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's what I think of. I mean, I like have kind of tuned out of a lot of superhero stuff, so I haven't seen any.
I mean,
of the
don't get me
Marvels
wrong.
or
Tom
the-
Holland's a great
Oh,
Spider-Man.
100%.
He's probably a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire, but Tobey Maguire is he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
And even Andrew Garfield gave a different depth to the character,
And,
which you
and
don't
what's
get
her
to
name
see.
is MJ. I don't care.
Oh yeah, Kirsten
Kirsten
Dunst.
Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. She's MJ. Nobody else can beat MJ. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's
Sorry,
MJ.
Zendaya.
Yeah. We love you, but sorry.
It's so funny seeing like the out of MCU Marvel movies and then looking at the MCU Marvel movies and then looking at the now MCU Marvel movies. It's like,
Like the 3 different stages, essentially.
yep, because the early on like Marvel movies and stuff like that. I went to see all 3 Spider-Man movies opening day. I saw the 2003 Ang Lee Hulk movie opening day.
The one with Edward Norton in it.
No, that was the one with Eric Bana.
Okay. Okay.
Ed Norton was 2008. That was the second one. But
I like that one.
Yeah,
a
that
lot.
one was phenomenal.
all of those ones except for Blade, I watched opening.
Blade.
But Blade was really like that was the guy. He started the superhero movie craze, and a lot of people don't give him credit for it.
Wasn't
He was
Triple H in
Matrix
like the
before
sequel?
Matrix.
That was Underworld.
Oh,
That was the third. That was Triple H was in the third one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that was
it.
Underworld.
That was with Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds, and it was kind of cheesy, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was still
It
entertaining.
was the best we were gonna get for werewolves, for sure.
I was entertained, so it's all I needed.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't always have like the great quality like an American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Like for that time too, seeing the creature transformation and stuff like that. Like I don't know if you've ever seen it or
No,
not.
I've heard people speak highly of that are into like horror movies. Like
Yeah.
that's an old one that is like
Yeah, that's like a cult
still
classic.
on the top
That's
of the
like
list.
top
that
tier.
one and OG Teen Wolf.
Yeah. But what was cool about it is whenever they did like the werewolf transformation, you would actually see like the hair grow and come out of his arm. And for the longest time, no one had any idea as to how
How?
they shot that. So what they did was they had like these hydraulic tubes and they had the hair out and then they just pulled the hair back through and they just played it in reverse. And it just created this really cool effect that a lot of people ended up using.
That's really cool. That's like being, you have to be so creative to like think of that.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
They even
Especially
did
back
it
then
in
when
like
you have
the
nothing.
Grinch movie with Jim Carrey.
Yep,
where
classic.
like I can't remember Martha May, she's shooting all the lights up on the house. Well, that was actually shot in reverse. It was just reeling everything back into the gun. And then they just played it in reverse. So it looks like she's shooting it.
Dude, that's
crazy.
so smart.
This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Drink Alchemy. Fatigue and brain fog affect us all, destroying everything we pursue. Whether as an athlete, artist, creator, or entrepreneur, our mind holds the key to performing optimally. By combining the most potent organic nootropics found in nature, Drink Alchemy delivers sustainable boost to creativity, memory, energy, and focus in one epic beverage. Stop pumping your body full of excessive amounts of caffeine and unknown proprietary blends from other energy drinks, and get clean energy from Drink Alchemy's natural nootropics like lion's mane, L-theanine, and caffeine from green tea. Used by Olympians, D1 athletes, MMA fighters, and entrepreneurs, Drink Alchemy has become a huge part of my daily routine, making sure I'm functioning optimally during long days of coaching athletes, running CDSF, and getting in quality workouts myself. So do yourself a favor and ditch the energy drinks loaded with caffeine, other stimulants, and who knows what else, and head over to drinkalchemy.com today. Live with your mind unbound and save 10% off your order by using code CDSF at checkout. That's drinkalchemy.com, promo code CDSF for 10% off your order today. Does anybody else watch The Boys?
Yep,
The
I saw the
Boys.
first season.
I love
Wave.
that
I
show.
love it. I can't wait
Did you
for the
start
next
the
season.
spin-off? It's like VU.
No, not yet.
Wait, there's a
so
spin-off?
I did this week, and it's fantastic.
So it's Gen V.
It's Gen V, not VU. Gen V, yeah.
How it was described, because I'm not the biggest fan of like spin-offs and stuff like that. It kind of takes a little convincing for me to get into it because the spin-offs are like very extremely rarely held to the same standard.
Right.
The only one that I can really say that for is Better Call Saul. Was definitely held
Jay,
up
you
to the
agree?
same standard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any others, but that's
I mean,
that's
think of
perfect.
any other shows that are like good all the way through. Breaking Bad's on that list
Like
for everybody.
I watch Power, so like there's like 4 or 5 spinoffs, and there's probably like 2 that are really good.
Yep.
That keep the quality, and there's 2 that like I watch them because I'm a fucking cult person now of it. So
Yep.
I watch it, and I'm like, I gotta know what happens.
but
But it's not as good a quality.
wait, what were you told for Gen V?
Oh, so I guess it's one of those things where like you watch The Boys up to season 3 and then you watch Gen V and it like literally just hands it off to Gen V.
Yeah.
You watch that show and then it will hand it back off for season 4.
I can see how that's gonna happen.
So I gotta watch Gen V then.
but I like
Yeah,
The Boys because it's like
I like Billy.
But I like if superheroes were real today, this is how it
That's
would
exactly
be.
how it would be.
Corporations would get involved. There'd be corruption.
Yep.
And it's like you saw that with The Boys, and then with this, it's like a university, but it's like all the corruption that would be going on.
The backstory to it is like the guy who wrote that comic the way that it was because he hates superheroes. The only one he likes is Superman, which he wrote his own version with Homelander. It just
Right.
made him like literally the worst one there is. But it's like it's funny how they do that. It's like you literally hate this thing, and then you're tasked with writing that thing.
Yeah. So
It'd be like if you hated broccoli, and you're like your job, you're making money from eating broccoli right now.
I'd find another job. But speaking of like The Boys and obviously music and whatnot, how much do you guys listen to hip hop?
I listened to a little bit.
So Metro Boomin has a song with Future called Superhero. The intro to Metro Boomin's album, they end with the Homelander speech, like at
that's
the end, like where he's like
That's
standing
cool.
up in front of everybody. And then in the chorus, Future talks about taking dope turns me to a superhero. And it ties into like Billy taking Compound V.
Right.
Yeah.
And it turns him into a superhero.
So you guys are working on new music currently?
Yes.
Yep. So we just wrapped up our Halloween show. That was a big focus for us because we were working in conjunction with Mike Valenti. He's like the guy basically for Albany and the Albany scene and stuff like that, for putting together shows, promoting shows in Empire Live and Empire Underground. Above him, you have like your SLP concerts. Teddy Toll, who is like he is the guy. He's the guy that, you know, when people are booking a SPAC and MVP and stuff. So we were working in conjunction with Mike. Great guy. He's been literally doing nothing but good things for the scene for
Ever.
30, 40 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And He plays in a hardcore band called Brick by Brick. They're doing stuff when he's not doing stuff with that. He's here pretty much setting up these shows. So working with him, putting the show together, and because we were putting the show together, like we were also playing on it. We wound up headlining the show, and it gave us a lot of creative freedom. It wound up we didn't have to do a Halloween show, but we thought it would be fun, and it was literally like 2 days before Halloween. So we're like, yeah, let's do a Halloween show. You know, maybe we can do like a costume contest or something like that. We're like, what should we do for prizes? We're like, oh, we can do concert tickets, or maybe we can get like some sponsors. So we hit up a couple people. I hit up Helderberg Meadworks. I was like, hey, we're looking for prizes for this costume contest. You guys are involved in a couple other things in the scene. They're a main sponsor for the radio show we've been on quite a few times, That Fuzzing Rock show. I was like, you're involved in the scene already. Do you want to be involved in this? They go, sure. Immediately give me a prize for it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Talk to Mike. He actually puts out a whiskey called Smooth Truth, and
which is delicious.
It's actually very good.
Like he makes the whiskey or he puts it out.
He has a distillery that makes it for him in, I think, Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
That's cool.
So
And
we'll have to try that one.
yeah,
time.
it tastes a lot like Jack Daniels, but not so much of a burn.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
why I don't like
has-
Jack. I'm not a big Jack fan.
So you probably like Smooth Truth.
If
It's
you
really
take
delicious.
if you take Jack and just upgrade it by like 3 times, that's what you get. It really is good. It's very easy to drink by itself, stuff like that. It's very smooth, as it is in the name. But yeah, great stuff. But yeah, he actually, we asked him, we're like, hey, do you have any extra bottles? Do you want to put one up as a prize? He's like, yep, let's do it. Like, didn't even think about it, didn't need any time or anything like that. And then we went to Madison Poorhouse, who's run through BMT. They own a couple bars in Albany and stuff like that. Went to one of the managers there, asked them, same thing, immediate yes. So we already had all these prizes lined up, stuff like that. Told everyone like, yeah, it's a costume contest, come dressed up. We'll have the bands kind of pick a couple costumes that are out in the crowd, and we'll crown a winner at the end, stuff like that. And tons of people came dressed up, everything like that. It was very, very fun.
blast.
That was
It was
the
so
most fun I've had at a show in a while, because it's stressful running things, but it's also like when everything is going so smoothly and nothing's going on a hitch, like that's when you can really sit back and like have fun with it. So I was just having fun with it the whole time. I was shooting videos, putting together promo stuff. A couple of the other bandmates were doing the same thing, and talking to people, networking, making connections. We got a bunch of bands on with us that had never played there before and never worked with Mike, so we established those connections. And helping them out was also like, that was the other high point of the night too, like just helping other people that are trying to even get into the scene.
Yeah, just trying to get a foot in the door.
And just
Sometimes it's so
introducing
hard.
them into things and stuff like that. So it was a very, very cool night. It was running things has never been more laid back for me ever. It was so fun.
Before you write your own stuff, what do? You cover stuff like Metallica when you first get into it? And
We just kind of like come up with ideas like, oh, okay, we want to do a song that's kind of like about this, or like with Soul Snatcher, one of our songs that Brandon wrote. It's all about like Jeffrey Epstein and how he's a piece of shit.
Oh fuck yeah! I love this song.
Dude,
Soul Snatcher.
I went
Yeah,
through.
fuck yeah.
He went down the rabbit hole.
And Devin's laughing because he knows. I went through for a long time, basically since that case kicked off. I was obsessed.
That shit will never come out. We'll never find out about it.
Oh yeah, no, and they're so as of right now, they're actually trying. There's a congresswoman that is trying to subpoena them for the flight logs, all of the flight logs, and either she's going to die, or it's not going to go through. And
I mean, she's going to commit suicide.
the case is so
There
fascinating.
was
to
one
me.
stuff we were watching. We started like some Monica Lewinsky show on FX. Me and Sam.
Yep.
It's like, Sam, you ever see the Clinton kill list? She's like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, she must be Googling it behind me. She goes, holy shit, Mike. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the evidence is there.
Yeah,
allegedly.
And it's one of those things that no one had really, people were talking about it, but it was always one of those, tinfoil hat types, stuff like that. And
Love the tinfoil hat.
no one wanted to acknowledge it because it sounds so crazy. And then it actually comes to light, and everyone is like, oh my God, there's actually validity to this. Like, it's not just some random conspiracy thing or anything like that. And I just got obsessed with it. And when I was going into like actually like writing that song, I wanted it to be like a nice, like heavy punch in the face type song, because it was, it's about something very heavy,
dark.
very serious, very terrifying, stuff like that. So I did like another deep dive after that. I was already fully invested into it.
Can we pull up this song? Can we listen to it?
So we had it recorded, and through a bunch of red tape and stuff like that, we don't have a real recording of it yet, but we do have it on SoundCloud
SoundCloud, yeah.
as a demo.
Can Jordy find the demo for us to listen to?
Might be able to.
If he can, I actually don't know the name of the SoundCloud, but it's on SoundCloud. We released it as a demo just to be like, hey, we can't formally release this because of all this red tape that we're going through right now. But here it is.
Also, don't want to die like everybody else.
Oh no, I would fully release it. That's not what I'm worried about.
J Stubbs like, fuck it, let's do it.
I got a pocket knife. Let's go.
I was literally just gonna say it. You took
He's
that
got
out
a
of my
pocket knife, and we got a nice candle on the desk too. You're a Renaissance man, Weave. You do jujitsu, you slay on the drums, and you make candles.
Dude,
We're going from Jeffrey Epstein to candles.
To the Brandons.
I just have I have ADHD, and
but it seems like you're finding outlets.
It's one of those. Oh yeah, no, I have more outlets than I could possibly think of. I've been playing video games since I was 4. I've been playing drums since I was 16. I've been making candles for the last 2.5 to 3 years and trying to do something with it. Doing jujitsu, and now I was through a lot of hard work, very lucky enough to buy a house at the beginning of this year.
It's awesome.
And now
Congrats,
I'm
man.
a lawn dad. Thank you. I'm a lawn dad.
Lawn
now.
dad's fucking real. That's going to be my day tomorrow, boys. Is lawn dad day.
Oh yeah.
I'll be a gym dad tomorrow. I'll be here.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care
you,
of the
Paul,
gym.
for allowing me to be a lawn dad
I got
tomorrow.
you, dog.
But it's like I'm pulled in a lot of different directions and stuff like that. And
But do you love it? Would you have it no other way?
I can't sit still, so
Same
I
here.
have to. So it's like
You've done pretty good for the last however long we've been on.
Oh yeah, and
You know?
it's if I'm engaged, I'm in it and stuff like that. It's not. This definitely helps. But
Jefferson's
you-
help.
you need anything else?
Stuff helps as well, right? Being next to you.
Yeah.
It's like a comforting soul, you know.
Pretty much.
Yep. It's
I'm just here for moral support, you know.
it's something that I was very I had a method to my madness. I had the vibe around what I wanted to write, and that was
So you actually wrote this one. You didn't do
that one.
where
That one
you
I
had
wrote.
to
I
give the
wrote
concept.
basically 95% of it. And
Boys,
then
you want more drink? Are you guys good? Stop. You want more?
I'll take a little bit more.
I will take.
We're
a
out of the
smidge
Jefferson.
More,
We
thank
got
you.
the
So we got
screwball
crown
and
and
we got the
screwball.
crown.
I'll take a little bit of screwball.
We've.
Um,
I'll let
I
you.
will
I'll
also take a
it.
little screwball. Thank you.
It's a dangerous
Getting
fucking
a little
drink.
screwy in here.
Screwball is a dangerous drink.
Yeah, that's the method to my madness. When I actually do write a song, I research the topic that I want to write a song on. I put a vibe around it, and I give it to people who can digest that, and then I see what comes out. And every time I do, I like it. It's happened quite a few times. Thank you.
How does that's Ben? That's your lead singer on that
Yes.
song. Metal music is and the vocals, because I think of like Linkin Park, where he could go
Yeah,
like
Chester.
that.
Oh, dude,
but then he
Chester,
could
R.I.P. again.
rest in peace. But then he could sing a
Beautifully.
a beautiful chorus. But then he could bring himself there. How, is that something vocally like Ben just had, or is he working on it to be able to do that? Can he do a nice chorus as well?
Yeah. And for him,
100%.
it's just straight up determination. You know what I mean? It's just it's one of those things where it's like
Jay, can you light up Weave's candle for us right here? Thanks.
it's called Dude.
It's called. What's the sense in that?
Smell like a dude.
It smells like a dude. So basically,
It does. It smells like a dude's cologne.
so as I was researching these things, I was like, I'll get this one. They said it, smells like a campfire or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Smoky, nice stuff like that. So I was trying to make stuff for fall, and I get it and I smell it. And I'm like, this kind of just smells like cologne, like a smoky cologne. And I handed it to Roxanne, my girlfriend. She was like, yeah, this kind of just smells like cologne. I'm like, kind of smells like a dude, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm just going to call it dude. Slapped a dude label on it, threw it on there. Everyone thinks it's funny, and rolled with it from there. So that's
I mean, I looked at it when he handed it to me. I was like, dude, what's
This
it
is
smell
the first
like?
time
I
we
opened
got-
it. I was like, it smells
Makes
like a dude.
sense.
It's the first time we got a candle on the pod.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, shameless
Hey,
plug.
shout out.
yeah, shameless plug for something that doesn't exist yet.
It's the Brandles, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you have a brand name for those?
So I'm just now throwing everything together to just like sell to like friends and family, to just build up the name and build up what I want to do, and just get enough money to where I can launch my own LLC and stuff like
Yes,
that. But
man.
the official unofficial name for it right now is Empire Candleworks, and I got a label on there. I just got the labels back, slapped them on there the other day.
I love it.
And all my friends that I sent them to, everything like that, I was like, this isn't weird, right? They're like, no, I love candles.
You know what's cool with our generations? It's like you guys doing it with the band, we do it with the gym. Jordy, Alyssa, our sister, with this jewelry, started like a jewelry
Oh
company.
yeah, like
and
ceramics or something,
yeah,
right?
ceramics. And she posts on Instagram, and she's doing great.
How does Step know
that's so
what she's
cool.
doing and you don't know what she's doing?
I know what she's doing. She's doing
Jewelry?
ceramics. Oh my God, ceramics. Sorry, I said jewelry. Ceramics. Sorry, Alyssa.
Jordy, are you really surprised?
No, you know why I said that? Because she just posted necklaces that she has for sale.
She did. No, that's
But
fair.
ceramics,
That is
cups and nice bowls and vases, they're fucking awesome. But the girl quit her job, posts these on Instagram, and is doing great.
That's awesome.
And it's fucking awesome, Weave. So it's like, that's the cool. There's a lot of downsides to the internet, but there's a lot of it's cool. If you want to make something, it's like the audience is there. You got to put it out and see how it's perceived.
For me, reading blank text just doesn't do it for me. I'm very much a visual or hands-on learner and stuff like that. So YouTube, going back to the drumming thing, was the ultimate teacher. That was I learned literally everything that I'm completely musically illiterate. I cannot read sheet music.
Same.
I cannot do anything like that. But everything that I
You
learned,
should have been in drumline instead of Nick Cannon.
yeah. Everything that I learned about drumming and stuff like that was just watching YouTube videos and watching people do it. Because then I could just, like, okay, well, he's hitting this thing and it makes this sound. Therefore, I can, just do that. I'm like, and then as it got more complicated, I was just like, okay, well, he's doing this with his hands. Then I'll just do that with my hands. And then you start slow and then you just build up, stuff like that. But it's just been, especially during COVID and stuff like that, it's just been so integral to just like learning things and trying to just, not only keep yourself busy, but I mean, like you can make side hustles out of literally everything. And also making stuff is just cool. I like making stuff. Dabble in the candles, stuff like that. I want to get into woodworking, but I can't. I'm just not good with it. So I do my best to slap together a couple rough cabinets and call it a day.
Protect those fingers too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Good point, Steph.
Yeah, we need those.
Need you to hold on to the sticks.
Making music is always fun. Playing video games and making stuff in it. That's why like Minecraft and stuff is so popular, because you can make stuff in Minecraft. But
That's why Skyrim was huge too.
Yeah, exactly. Because they had house building in Skyrim, and you could literally just build your own little house in there.
Everything down to the nails and everything.
Making stuff is cool, and we have literally limitless ways to learn things. It's not even one of those things where it's just like you don't have any excuses anymore. You just have to do it.
Well, and I think that's where, like, I have a friend who was in college and he learned a lot of stuff through what he wanted to do through the same way. And there were like professors that he had at this college in New York City, and they were like, "What are you doing here? Like, go do it. Like, you don't need to be here." So he ended up dropping out. He's back in school, finishing a different degree. But like, it's like there's the access to different ways to educate yourself in the traditional.
Well, there's traditional education, right, Paul? It's like, yeah, like you guys, did you feel like school was helpful for you or no?
Not for me.
Nope.
I always
No,
struggled.
You're intellectual dudes. You're an intellectual guy. It's like you're smart, you're creative, but school just wasn't for you.
Yeah, I not to take anything away from our teachers or anything like that, but it's just that just wasn't my style, and my first foray into kind of just like learning things in a hands-on way was actually the Questar program. I went for junior and senior year into culinary, and that was so hands-on with how you learn stuff like that.
So can you dabble in the kitchen then?
Oh yeah,
throws down in the
cooking
kitchen.
and stuff like that. That's like, it's so weird that people will watch TV shows and movies and stuff like that. Like, one of my main forms of entertainment is just watching people cook. There's so many good YouTube channels out there that I just watch people cook. I love the Food Network growing up, stuff like that.
I like watching Gordon Ramsay yell at people.
That's always fun.
I've watched about every one of his shows, except for the hotel one. He's like weirdly naked in that a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to see him naked.
Yeah.
I just want to see him tell somebody to fuck off. Like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
Where's the lamb sauce?
I walked into the living room.
Where's my beef Wellington with your fucking balls out?
It was the one that it was on was I think it was Hotel Hell. So it's him doing the kitchen nightmares thing, but like in hotels, like people that are just having a hard time with their hotels, and he goes and cleans it up. And I think it was mainly meant for like the UK, and they don't really have like a weird nudity thing here like we
Jay, you
do.
got any nudes from that show?
No, it's just the first thing that pops up on Google is exactly what Brandon said. It's, has anyone noticed that Gordon gets naked on nearly every episode of Hotel Hell?
See? And like, I love Gordon Ramsay. I love his style. I love his shows. I can't do that.
No,
I'm good.
I don't want to watch that. No, I just want to watch you tell people to fuck off, get out of my kitchen. You suck.
Well, it's like he had that British show too, The F Word, and literally in the beginning, you just see him just like taking off his regular jacket, and he's just walking like shirtless, and then he's putting on the chef's coat, and I'm just like, why? Why do we have to do this?
That's
He's trying to be a
European
little
style.
Guy Fieri, maybe. I don't know.
That's
I mean,
European
Guy wishes.
style of
Guy would
TV
definitely go
shows.
shirtless even now. Like he doesn't.
100%.
0%.
That man's got like 100% self confidence.
But you feel like that was better learning for you, being hands-on with something.
Oh,
versus,
absolutely.
like, sitting in a
yeah,
classroom.
that's really like, I just can't do text. Like I can learn through text if I just like sit there and like focus on it, but I'm not that type of focuser. Like I can't just focus on that. I don't really like read books or anything like that.
I can relate.
I'm heavily criticized for not reading books. There is numerous reasons
So am
why
I,
I don't
Beawie.
read
So
books.
am I.
Yeah, Paul's been made fun of on this podcast for his lack of reading
yes.
books.
I like podcasts, I like music, I like movies, I like things that I can like actually see. It's not that I don't lack imagination, it's just I can't focus on blank text.
Yes.
Can't do it.
Right.
You sitting there reading the same paragraph like 8 times trying to
That
retain it.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Literally,
literally me every
literally.
time. I read the same page 4 times. I'm like, I don't know what I just read.
Yep. And then you get frustrated. I think the most impressive book I ever read was It by Stephen King. And that was like 3,000 pages.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Dude, I was lucky to get through a
1,000.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah. The book's
Stuff,
literally like that.
how many
thick.
pages?
Like 3,000, I
It's a
think.
lot of pages stuff.
I was lucky to get through a Captain Underpants book.
Yeah.
Like, you know
Those
what I
were
mean? Like,
Listen, Captain Underpants is amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well crafted literature.
great literature. Had pictures, extremely helpful.
Very helpful.
If Captain Underpants was just text, I would have a hard time.
But like listening to you talk about that, it reminds me like my brother-in-law who's a tattoo artist, and like he talked about it on a previous podcast how traditional education didn't really fit him, and even like Silverman had him as a student and said like he was always kind of like the student, like he was smart but like didn't really like apply himself, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. And then he wasn't planning on going to college, got into this like prestigious art school, and now he's a tattoo artist, comic book artist, all this other stuff. But he was always like, I felt like he's like one of the smartest people I know, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he did traditional education.
Remember at Jordy's surprise party when I saw your 2 tattoos on your legs that I fucking loved?
Oh, yeah. The Pokemon ones?
Fuck yeah, man. I was such a Pokemon kid, and so
Wait,
was
what do
Jordan.
you have?
Well, I said I was sitting there. I don't know if I was holding our daughter. Dev, you had your daughter too. And I look over and I was like, "What's up, Stup?" And I go, "Is that a Bulbasaur and an Alakazam on your legs?"
Sure
That's
is.
fucking awesome.
And you're like, "That's a spooky Bulbasaur." And what was
And
the
then
other?
I call this one Dr. Kazam because he's a mixture of Alakazam and Doctor Strange.
Ooh, I like that.
I fucking love it, and
So-
they look sweet, man.
Yeah, and like where he would have like the time stone for his medallion, instead of the time stone, it's just the psychic symbol from Pokemon cards.
That's really cool.
I
That's
didn't even
really
notice
cool.
that. That's
Yeah,
great.
there's a lot of little fun details in there, and he's got his spoons like bending, and he's got the little like.
What did the
green
tattoo
shit.
artist say when you like came to?
Oh, he was full on into
Oh, I
it.
guarantee
sure.
it because he's like,
It was,
nobody
Who
else
did
is
that?
getting this.
Jeff?
Yeah, it was Jeff Bolt.
Yeah.
And he's phenomenal with color. Like all of his stuff that I'd seen that has to do with color pops and it looks great.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to get a cartoon on my entire shin, initially it was supposed to be like just under my knee. And then he
Also
shows.
sounds super painful.
Yeah, it was not great. It was about 7.5 hours straight.
yeah.
And
One sitting, you did
One
that?
sitting, I
That's
did
You're a
everything.
boss.
bro.
You're a boss. I'm a pussy.
I just
sit for
lay
like
there
3
and
hours.
then I
Yeah.
just fucking, I just go until I can't. And
Yeah, I
7.5
sit for like
hours,
3
I was
hours. I'm
still
like, I'm
going.
good.
You should
there's-
see Brad's chest.
Oh
tat.
my God, yeah.
Talk about trying to nail out a lot of shit in one shot. Oh my God. He has, it's album art from, it's a Bring Me the Horizon album. It's Brad Doty. Mm-hmm. Literally from like here to there.
Wait, Brad Doty
Yeah.
has a giant tattoo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got quite a few.
Mind blown.
Our buddy, our buddy Josh does.
Shout out Josh
he
Haywood.
He did my Chris Farley
Oh,
tattoo.
Haywood. I graduated with Haywood. Great. I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
His stuff is great. I feel like it's like better and better every time I see him
Yeah.
post something,
Dude,
man.
it's talk about like because when I started being friends with Josh when I was like 15 or 16. He was friends with my older brother, and my older brother was having a house party, and I was playing Left 4 Dead, and I wanted to be left alone, but I couldn't have my Xbox in my room because I didn't have a long enough Ethernet cable. So I was just playing in the middle of this party, and I was trying to focus.
How old were you?
Probably like 15.
Oh my God.
15, 16,
Just
something like that.
gaming. Like
And
a
I'm just sitting there,
motherfucker.
just trying to play my video game. I had my headphones turned all the way up, stuff like that, so I didn't have to focus on the absolute rager going on behind me. All around me, in the basement, upstairs. It didn't matter where it was. This party was everywhere. And I was just sitting there in my chair, trying to play my game. And Josh walks by, and he just goes, "Oh, Left 4 Dead. I love that game." I'm like, "I have an extra controller." Sits down with me and plays that game. We've been friends ever since.
That's a fantastic way to become friends.
14, 15 years later. And yeah, now I got his, we all have his ink on our body, but seeing his tattoos back then, because he was one of those high schoolers, let me grab a gun and just dabble and stuff like that. That evolution to now, dude.
Night and day. And that spooky Bulbasaur that you love, he actually did that.
Oh no shit!
And
That's,
yeah,
that's Josh's work.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool to see from when he started to now. It's so cool.
Where is he tattoo out of?
I tattoo up in like Glenmont area.
Gilderland.
Gilderland, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tattoo out there, and he gets, like you said, every single time you see a new one from him, it's just that much better. And I literally went to him with this idea of like, yeah, I'll let you do a tattoo on my shin, no problem.
Right.
Here's what I want. I just want a Bulbasaur, make it Halloween. And he just sent me this like drawing that he came up with, and it had like all this Dia de los Muertos like paint on them, and it just looks really cool. And it's got like this giant like jack-o'-lantern instead of the bulb. Mm-hmm. And then he was doing Vine Whip. But instead of it just being like the bulbs on the vines, they're like these skulls with like poison on them. And he just came up with all these really cool ideas. And I'm like, dude, 100% exactly that. Put it on my shin right now.
Like, do that yesterday. Actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Jay, you've gamed with these guys over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Devin and I believe we met because he was playing Pokemon Ruby version on a school bus.
Oh, this is back
And
in
I
the
saw-
day.
this is
Yeah, and I
back
saw
in-
him, him
Throwback.
and our friend Will playing. And I was like, I want to watch. And I was like, I want to play. And then we started hanging out and
No
playing
shit,
Game
that's
Boy.
where it started, huh?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Jay, I think of our childhood, like Pokemon was a big part for years. It's like
yeah.
we had the original Game Boy where there wasn't even a light, so if it once it
Yeah,
got
you had
dark,
to have like the
Yep.
one light
You
or
couldn't-
just be
you
by
couldn't play
street
anymore.
light.
majority had like
The
a light
screen
that
was
would
fucking
attach,
green.
right?
Yeah.
The screen was literally green.
Yeah.
Then the Game Boy Color. So we did like I think it's the Pokemon Yellow was probably the
Pokemon
biggest
Yellow
one.
was the best,
Yeah, we had blue, we had yellow.
yeah,
we did-
red.
but
Fire
yellow
Red.
yellow was
I
definitely
think
the
I
best.
played every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, still.
Pokemon. Remember Pokemon Snap? You just take pictures of fucking
Oh,
Pokemon.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the game.
They just put out a
Really
new
good
one
one.
of
Yeah,
that.
the,
like,
new,
in
new,
past
the new
couple
one
years.
is really good too.
See, it's like it's hard. I'm so consumed in here all day.
Yeah.
I have a kid now. But it's like if I'm being the full me, it's like doing shit like that is part of it. Like,
Yeah.
I save space for that kind of stuff.
And
Oh,
I,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Me
and
and
I
Jay
need
both do.
and I need to in my life because like those times were like, that was our childhood.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Pokemon stuff?
My favorite Pokemon?
Yeah.
Oof. Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Alakazam because I just thought he looked super cool, and the whole psychic aspect.
Do you
of things
still
was
have
really
the
cool.
cards from when you were younger? Or
Not
no?
when I was younger. I actually just collect Magic cards now, and a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Do you have any that are worth money?
I do have a. They did a whole Godzilla set right when COVID hit, so I have a King Ghidorah, the huge three-headed dragon thing, and I have that in a foil, and that's probably worth close to like $40 just for the card, and you can just get a booster pack for like $20. So if I ever fall in hard times, I can just sell a couple of those at a card store or something.
Fill up your cart with some gas.
Yeah,
and
that's
move
right.
on.
Thanks a lot,
I
King
need some
Ghidorah.
gas money, guys. I'm gonna sell this car.
But Jay, don't you wish that we had our cards from childhood?
I do.
I'm
I'm
not-
not wishing for anything. I've got everything I want.
I think that I might still have some. Like I got to go back to Donna's and I got to go look because I definitely have some Pokemon cards.
But don't you
hidden.
think, Jay, that we had? I mean,
Unless you
Dev,
burn
right?
them.
That was money. Now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
especially
had-
a
if we
first
had
edition
everything.
Charizard.
like a PSA 10 Charizard is.
Dude, Charizard hands down my favorite.
Google a PSA 10 Charizard. Like, what's that value? That's high.
I think that's like
$5,000, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Do you remember when were you guys playing with like the cards when playing with those cards was considered gambling by like the principal and stuff like that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is that why she took her cards away?
yep.
Yeah, so want to hear the alternative?
Sure.
So when I was in private school before I went to Chatham, so we went through the whole devil craze where
Satanic Panic.
yeah, Satanic Panic, where Pokemon was involved in devil worshipping and demons and stuff like that. We literally went through that when we were in second and third grade. It was wild. And then I got to public school, and they were just like, "What are you talking about?" And then they did it again with Yu-Gi-Oh, and they were like, "You're gambling." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Yes, I was.
See, the
But no, I'm
Yu-Gi-Oh,
not.
I was older, but I remember Jordan and Dev ripping the Yu-Gi-Ohs all the time.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. We
It was Yu-Gi-Ohs, and they would play Beyblades too.
Oh yeah, I remember Beyblades.
Yo, Beyblades lasted mad long though, because my little brothers play with Beyblades, and they're like substantially younger than us. Like they're in high school right now. They're 17 and 18.
It made
Yeah.
a big comeback, and back when
they
we
would
were
rip the
kids,
shit out of those things.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
back when we were
fucking
kids,
rip
you were the man if you had the little stadium.
Yeah, because I told some
I
college
think
kid,
I had that.
Paul, I told a college kid over the summer, a college baseball player, he's getting set up for a heavy deadlift, like probably 400 something pounds. Like, all right, man, just rip it. He steps out from being all focused. He goes, dude, that reminds me of Beyblades.
How do you go deadlift 400 pounds?
And I'm like, hey, let's take a break and we'll go back to this.
You just deadlifted 400 pounds, and you're referring to Beyblade.
All right.
Yeah. What? Listen,
Charizard answer here. 1999 first edition holographic base set
Oh
Charizard
God.
sold for $420,000.
Jordy.
So,
Jordy.
you want to hear something even crazier?
Yeah.
Magic cards have sold for even more.
Yeah.
Look up the Black Lotus.
But the crazy thing, the next closest one is only 57,877.
What is it?
1996 Japanese base set Charizard PSA 9 recently sold for that.
Jesus.
What's the magic card? Stop. Tell Paul to look
It's
it
the
up.
Black Lotus card from the original set.
I had that second card. That breaks my heart.
See-
My cat peed on all my cards.
What a
Paul,
bitch.
tell Weave how much money his cat peed away on right now.
What was it, the 96 one?
It was the $57,000 one.
At least it wasn't
You didn't have to
at least it
remind
wasn't the $420,000 one.
Yeah, I don't know if I had that.
Because then
one,
I would be like,
it was
I'd be like, Jay Stubbs, make sure he makes it home.
Make sure he's okay.
where's your nearest tree? I need to see it real quick.
A Black Lotus, arguably the most sought after card in Magic, The Gathering, has sold for a record-breaking price of $540,000 at a recent auction.
So that actually just got broken.
It just got broken.
Did it just get broken?
Post Malone.
I heard about
Shocker,
this.
post fucking Malone would buy it.
2.4 or 2.5 million
2.6, I believe.
on it was the Lord of the Rings
The One Ring to rule 'em all.
collaboration with Magic the Gathering.
They did a special one-of-one card, and it
It's
was
literally
all
the
holographic.
only one on Earth.
Yeah, so it's called holographic because it's got like a rainbow sheen to it.
So he bought it for 2.6. You said, Paul.
Yeah, about
Post
2.6
Malone.
million.
Oh, dude, it's literally like you look up Post Malone, and it comes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was only a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah, the guy, because you had to open up all these booster packs to find it.
Do you like Post Malone as a magician, as a musician, or no? As a magician?
He is quite magical, but no, I actually really enjoy his music. At first, I was a little turned off because he relied on auto-tune so heavily,
But he has a good voice.
but he had a great voice. And then you listen to his like musical structure and composition of stuff, and it all flows and makes sense. And then I just started falling into it thanks to Devin over there, because I used to just not even
looking at
consider
Jordy's
hip
face
hop
right
or
now.
anything like that.
Well, it's because I called him a magician.
Well, no, I think it's because Jordy's reference of Post Malone was he's the Nickelback of hip hop.
I mean, sort of, kind of,
Sort of, kind of.
but much more lovable than Chad Kroger.
And it makes
Yes.
sense because it's like well
Made me
known, but
very
also
mad when
not
he said
well
that,
known.
though.
But like he was actually trying out to be a guitarist in a metal band called Crown the Empire, and that was before he even made it big as Post Malone. Guy's an actual musician. Like he's
He is.
good.
He can play.
He's like actually plays guitar. He's very good at it.
Convince
Stuff like
Jordan
that.
right now that he's like a good musician.
He really
Well,
is.
he's like an actual musician.
And that's coming from me. I get made fun of regularly for not branching out outside of metal and rock and stuff like
Yep.
that. I actually do like a few Post Malone songs. I enjoy.
I
enjoy
I
them.
respect that and your opinion, but I still think he stinks.
he literally just did like a country song with
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah, the CMAs or something, right?
Dev?
Jordan showed me White Iverson when I came out to Cortland.
That's
one
my
time, and
least
that's how-
favorite Post Malone
That's
song.
the only one I like.
That's how I fell in love.
That's
with
the
him.
only one you
Jordan
like,
showed
and
me
that's
White
literally
Iverson
like the one
time.
I think that he also hates that song.
Yeah.
Like he
He's got bad
genuinely
taste,
like
obviously.
hates that song.
I like a few of his songs. My favorite is Circles. I really like Circles.
Circles is really good.
Circles
One of my
is good.
favorites
that's-
is Myself.
That Circles is him starting to get more into like my wheelhouse, like rock and stuff like that. It's a lot more like less hip hop than the rest of his music and stuff like that. So I'm kind of out of bias, but I do like some of his songs.
I like the post Ozzy Travis Scott
Oh, yeah, that's an
that
amazing
song
collaboration.
was like
Oh yeah, that was big for a while. Paul.
that just everything. I was like, this is.
That was
good.
back when Ozzy couldn't even stand really because of all of like the
Can he-
Parkinson's
can
stuff
he stand
and
now,
the
or-
neck injury.
Ozzy,
He
so-
can now with the cane.
Yeah, so he actually Ozzy was one of like my first like musical endeavors when I was a kid. It was AC/DC and Ozzy,
I love AC/DC.
and hearing him on that song still in his 70s and stuff like that, and the subsequent album that came out afterwards, I was just like, how do you do that from the 60s to now and still sound
Just as
that
good or better.
just as good? And I never understood it. And he has such a crazy, like, his story is so ridiculous. And
Yeah.
even recently, I keep finding out more crazy stuff about him. He literally has a genetic disposition to being able to handle drugs better. He's literally built different when it comes to doing drugs.
Well, people do for sure. 'Cause think about your friends that just can drink a lot and they're okay and
They're probably
function
Irish.
fine.
what
It's like-
is Bert Kreischer called? The Mickey Mantle gene. You can just handle drinking better and
the
just
Mickey
wake up
Mantle-
and be fine.
Paul, look up the Mickey Mantle like highlights at Yankee Stadium.
He's
It was like
probably
a
drunk.
questionnaire. Now I want you to read this off right here. Look it up. It's like Mickey Mantle like highlights at Yankee Stadium. Best moments at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, like between Ozzy, there was also like a couple of lesser known people that could really handle their substances, like Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead.
Yeah.
And there's
He-
also Keith Richards from the Stones.
The doctor literally told Lemmy he couldn't
like
stop
what,
drinking,
Yeah.
or he'd die.
I think also like certain types of drugs too.
Yep, heroin.
Yeah, he couldn't stop
best
heroin
moment.
because stopping would literally kill him.
Best moment.
Yeah, Ozzy was one of my first like metal forays and metal loves and stuff like that. His voice is
Timeless.
timeless in a way, and I mean he's also literally one of the people that founded heavy metal. Like
Yeah.
heavy metal started because of Ozzy and Tony
Black
Iommi. I
Sabbath.
mean mainly Tony Iommi for the guitar sound that he made, but Ozzy's voice carried it as well. And hearing him on that song was just like so crazy.
Refreshing.
Hearing him with Post, and to me it was mind numbing because I didn't know he was going to do any more music because him and Black Sabbath had ended and he wasn't touring anymore because he was just like too compromised physically and stuff like that. And now you're getting these AI songs.
Oh my God, yeah.
What do you think about that? Because you start to see those. I mean, it's
Good and
only
evil.
going to become more and more.
So some of them are just downright hilarious. Some of them gave me goosebumps because they were literally a song in their.
Key.
So every singer kind of has like their window of like their range and like what they sound good at and what they can do and like just how they sound best and stuff like that. There was one, I think it was literally a Shania Twain song.
Shout
But
out Shania
Oh yeah,
Twain.
but
the one
it
that,
was-
the one that you were talking
The one
about.
that I
she
sent
was,
you.
She was
Yeah.
a childhood crush of mine, so shout out Shania Twain.
Justin too.
She definitely waved at me, not just everybody that was there for her concert.
Devin has a story about that.
Shania Twain.
Yeah.
What, Dev? Give Dev the mic.
I got reprimanded in first grade for making fun of Justin for wearing his Shania Twain t-shirt.
As you should have, boy.
As you should, because Shania Twain is a fucking American.
Shania Twain kicks ass.
You wore your Shania Twain shirt to school.
Shamelessly.
Did
And
it say I
Devin
feel
T-
like a woman?
It did.
And
I
that's
could
even
kick a
better.
door off the hinge, like the hinges and everything.
Oh, I know you could.
Dev teased you.
He did. He was just like Shania Twain's stupid or something like
The
that.
problem is Dev is a big fucking dude, and you can't do anything about it. You're like,
Yeah, I
Fuck
did.
you,
I
Dev.
was a little snitch. I was just like Mrs. Myers, I think who it was. He was like, Devin made fun of me for my Shania Twain shirt. She's like, stop it, boy.
Mrs. Myers made me cry because she said I had long eyelashes.
meanwhile, she's reprimanding Devin for fucking J Stubb's fucking Shania Twain shirt, and she's talking shit to Mike about his eyelashes.
Hey,
But
Mike,
yeah,
did it make you feel like a woman though?
Yes, that's why I cried.
But yeah, so this absolute madman just started putting like metal vocalists to like random songs and stuff like that, and they put Ozzy's AI generated voice because the guy's got he's got more than 20 albums.
But AI though, you can't write copyright or trademark your voice. That's the issue,
it's
right?
the Wild West right now. So it's like you can go after someone for, I would assume, intellectual. I don't know. No one's gonna AI copy my voice. So I would assume you
So
can
you
go
think?
after someone like
I'm going to immediately after this.
please do. I want to see how fun it is.
It might be a good time. We might get you big.
But I think you can go after someone like somewhat legally. It's one of those ones where it's a
Like
gray
an
area.
impersonation kind of thing.
Yeah, and this guy did it with a bunch of like metal vocalists and stuff, and he did it to a Shania Twain song.
Oh, it's
and-
still the one I love.
Yes, and
a good song, too.
It falls
Number one
within. It falls within like the perfect key range for Ozzy Osbourne, and it sounds so good. I can't even deny it. It sounds good.
Can we find it?
this?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
Tell
I'm sure
Jordy
you
what
can
to
probably
search.
find it.
Tell Jordy what to search to find this.
Still the one I love, Ozzy Osbourne,
Yes,
probably.
yeah. Whatever
be
the
a
name of that
TikTok.
song is, Ozzy Osbourne. It was on TikTok. They did it with 4 voices originally, and everyone was like, "You got to do this with just Ozzy." It was Ozzy, James Hetfield from Metallica, Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And Ozzy's just sounded so good that everyone was like, "You got to do it just straight Ozzy."
Yeah, like
version.
him and Shania are in the same exact key vocally.
to me,
and it just works.
It is so absolutely insane that
You
we can
feel
even
comfortable
do
saying that in front of Devin stuff?
100%. I'll look him right in the eye. Same range as Ozzy, brother.
Keeping that same energy from grade 1 to now.
Mike, I do have a question for you. You might need to come read this before I actually.
Yeah.
I'm on
You
the
found
Twain
Mickey
train,
Mantle?
I
brother.
think I might have.
Yeah, let me
If I
look.
didn't, it's
Okay.
even better than I thought.
Yeah.
That's in such an integral key range for him that it's actually frightening that we've gotten this far. And that's coming from someone who plays drums, where electronic drums has been like
The
basically
forefront of a lot of music.
that's been like my battle of like programmed drums versus real drums and stuff like that.
For the record,
We were
Brandon
f-
could beat a machine.
We were the first to go. We were the first ones to be programmed, and people trying to do fake drums and stuff like that. They've been
Right.
doing that since the late 2000s, early 2010s.
I feel like, is that a lot of hip hop? Is like the fake drums in the
Oh yeah,
background?
100%.
Right.
But it's there's a lot of real drummers in there. We actually there was one that just passed away. He was Ariana Grande's drummer. It was Aaron Spears. Really, really good. They bring their drummers around like for live performances and stuff like that. That dude was so good, it's not even funny. And I don't even think he was that old. I think he was in his 40s.
Yeah.
But when they do the record, it's a drummer, someone who knows beat, someone who knows like rhythm theory and stuff like that, and they lay down a beat like that, and they just do it electronically just because it's easier. The way they used to do it is they would just record samples, tweak around with the samples, and then put those in line. Because a lot of drumming in general, you can't really do that. I mean, you can with guitar to a certain extent, but a lot of drumming is just very like. You're looking at like, that grid paper they would have in like math class,
Yeah.
and you would have to do like gradients on it and stuff like that. That's a lot of drumming. It's like you do that. Like there's feel that you put into it. Like, you have to put in certain velocity at certain times, and like, you're going lighter here and it's a buildup and stuff like that. And it's really hard to make a robot sound natural with that. But in the metal genre, everyone's playing as full blast as you can at all times. There's not a lot of play.
Right.
There's not a lot of changing in the velocity of how you hit things. So we were the first ones to really be subject to like, computer programming and stuff like that, to really like taking over the recording process and stuff like that. Except for one instance, have always wanted, like I've always told my bandmates, like if you try to record me with a robot or a program or try to program my drums, like I will quit right now. Like we did it one time just because the producer we had was really good at the time and we had no one else.
Do you work with different producers all the time, or do you have the same producer?
So just through circumstance, we change up quite a bit.
How much how much influence do you guys have on the back end of your music? You record, and then during the production of it.
So like,
Every bit of say.
Every
They know what they know, and they will steer you towards what your vision is to the best of their ability. But if something sounds wonky, we're going to tell them, and then they're going to change it.
Has that been a lot for you to learn on the technology side and the production and the
Yeah.
software that you use?
A lot's
100%.
happened in the last 13 years since I've been doing this. It's even to the point where like I can finally do this at home now, which is like that was big for me. I've been wanting to do it at home for years, but when you're broke and you have 9 hobbies,
Right.
because nothing can keep your attention for any more than 5
9
seconds.
and a half. 9 and a half.
Yeah, nine and a half.
There was like that half of one that you started, but
Oh, woodworking. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, woodworking.
See?
I have chisels I've never used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I've only been in the process of actually recording legitimately through this band, so the past 3 years. But I was in a band prior called Chemically Altered, that's where I learned how to play bass, essentially, because I was always a guitarist. And then they were like, well, you know, my best friend really wants to be the guitar player, and I'm the lead guitar player because I can solo really good. So we really need a bassist. And I was like, well, you know what? I want to get into the music industry, so fuck it. Here I go. And I mean, bass to guitar is pretty similar, but there's a lot of different nuances for bass as opposed to guitar playing. Like, you have to keep in time with, like, Brandon on drums with his kick bass, but also have your little different intricacies that you can do like a guitarist would. So like doing a guitar solo or something. Like in a couple of our songs, I have a couple of bass solos that I do. Even in that song Soul Snatcher that we played earlier, me, Brandon, and our singer Ben kick everything off, and Gary just kind of hangs out until he comes in, like, what, a measure or two later?
Yeah, it's 4 bars later, and then that's when he kicks in. And we did that by design because we thought we were just very, you know, we just wanted to mix things up.
Is anybody a perfectionist in the band?
I think we all are.
It's me.
Now, is that hard on the production side? Because I'm a perfectionist, and I've had to learn over the years to be able to let go of things for my mental health and for the sake of people I work with, like Paul or my wife, in terms of like, dude, shit's okay if it's not like the most perfect thing that you think it is. Like, it's going to be just fine, because I waste a lot of people's time and my own time trying to get things perfect. Is that hard with the song?
Yes, and for me specifically, because like I'm normally pretty laid back on a lot of things just generally in life and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll do this. You know, this is the amount of effort that I want to put into and stuff like that. With this, when we first start recording, we get the first rough draft back, I will literally have a 6-page essay on what needs to be changed.
Can confirm.
And that just turns into a 6-page to a 5-page to a 4-page to a 3-page until we're done, because for 2 different reasons. One, I want my vision to be 100% the way that I want it to be. And 2, we're paying money, a lot of money for recording and
Studio
stuff like that.
time,
Studio time
Yeah.
is extremely expensive. But for me specifically, like drums was kind of like, that was like the one, that's the one to rule them all. That's the one thing that I have in my life that like I got really good at, I got really obsessed with. It's the one thing that I was like super obsessed with, aside from like video games, but that never really like pursued anything. That was more just like fun. But that was the one thing that like, and I'm the one, if I miss one note live, I'm in the car driving home with the radio off. You know what I mean? It's like, and I've done that before.
That used to kill me in the sense of the gym. If I had a client that, you know, maybe tweaked something in the gym and got a little hurt, or they didn't reach their goal, or an athlete got hurt in the field, it would fucking destroy me. You know, I would think about it. It would take away from my productivity and and how I acted in my other relationships in my life. And you realize, like, hey, like, you only have so much control.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes things are just going to happen, and that's life.
I'm not as much of a perfectionist as you, but I've been there with like an athlete or a client where I'm like, fuck, dude, what could I have done to make this fucking better?
You know where that stemmed from, Jordy? My fear of somebody getting hurt in the gym. That stemmed from Stup.
Oh my God.
I was wondering when this was coming up.
That stemmed from Stup.
We did tell the story to somebody today.
My fear of someone getting hurt in the gym, it stemmed from you, Stup.
You're welcome. I'm so
Yeah,
glad to know that you think of me often.
Yeah.
every
may
day,
have-
Jay stops every day.
Stup, this may have launched the trajectory of my career in wanting to help people succeed in the gym.
Well, consider me a silent partner. I'm happy to be a part of that.
When
Oh my God.
you're Jordy's grade.
Yep.
So you're 2 years younger than me, 3 years younger than Paul.
Yep.
So when I was in high school, I stopped playing football my freshman year. I tried out, and I was a quarterback. Like I could barely throw. I just handed it off, and there was like Cram and Niles above me.
Yeah.
So I went to like the first practice my freshman year. And they're like, Mike, I think you'd be good on special teams. And I was like, that means I suck.
I don't even remember Mike being at
I
practice.
was there. So I
He
quit.
blended in.
So I quit, and that I got in the weight room, and Stelt said, you got to do something in the fall. So I got in the weight room, and then fast forward to my junior year, I'm in the high school weight room. I'm working out. Pumping some iron. And I look over, and Stup's in there.
Yep.
And I see Stup putting on 25s on each side of the bench, ready to go. And I look over, and I go, man, look at Stup. He's got this. And I walk away, and I just continue on with my workout. All of a sudden, I hear through my headphones, Serenity! And Stup is fucking pinned with the 95 pounds on his chest. And I fucking drop what I'm doing, and I sprint over there, and I
He
pull
did
it,
save me.
and I
100% saved me.
pull it off of him,
I could finally breathe again.
and he could breathe again, and Stubbs here with us today. But
Thank
yeah,
you again.
No, you're welcome. I mean, thank you, because here I am today.
It all started with that.
Yeah,
It all started
I mean,
from my failure. Hashtag story of my life.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
I mean, I feel like we're here now so many years later. Should we do a redemption bench?
I mean, I'm down. I just can't promise I'll be able to do it because I'm a weak ass bitch deep down.
Yeah, but Mike won't run away this time.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be here for you.
he did run to me.
I
He did
ran-
help me.
Yeah, I'm gonna
He
be
wasn't
here for
there
you
when it was
again.
going down.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's true.
Jordy, should we load up the bench for stuff?
Yeah, do 95 again. Do exactly as it was 12 years ago, whatever it was.
Paul, you want to load us up at 95 on the
I
bench?
can load us up. I'm gonna have to set up a bar.
Why don't you
over
have
there.
why don't you have Dev do it over
Dev,
here?
load up
You guys
that
can
far
still-
side
that
spot
far
rack
side?
over
Take
there.
that bar right next to Jordy's.
Stuff, you're okay with
head.
doing this?
100%.
I
Even if
feel-
I fail, it's good content.
Stuff. It's good content, but I feel like it's better for our
Dev's gonna
mental
curl the bar
It's a
100
healing
times.
moment.
This is a healing moment between both of us.
Even though, granted, Devin could probably pick this up with
I
just
was,
like
I was literally gonna
nothing.
say Stup's gonna do like one press at
Jay,
95.
we can't get a mic
and
over there, can we?
DP's gonna
That's-
do like 75 curls.
So which rack?
Want to go closest to you, Jay? Is that going to give us the best chance for the microphone?
Yeah, we can do a microphone
Right here? Or no?
You
Yeah,
can borrow
if we do
mine.
this
I will literally bring mine over so we can do this. I'm the one that's.
Is it okay if I just
I'm
like,
only
you know,
on a
take a
tripod.
piss quick?
It's a matter of how long the cord is.
Hey, you guys, we're going to take
Okay,
a piss
cool.
break. We're going to set up this bench for Stup, and we're going to do the redemption set right now.
I do have to say this
Say a
is
prayer for me.
much more professional setting than Chatham High School.
All right, Jay, we ready? All right, we're back from our pee break. Stup, we got to do some healing right now.
telling you, brother.
Okay. Okay, Stup, you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, let's do it. 95-pound redemption. Any last words, Stup?
I'm nothing in my mind right now.
Here we go. Yeah, stop. Give me another. Oh, give me another stop. It's third rep. Stup's got 4 and 5. I think Stup can get 10.
That was my elbow that just exploded.
7. Here we go. Give us 2 more, Stup. Here's 9.
Attaboy.
10.
Easy peasy.
Oh, stop. Let's go.
Listen, that's progress, baby.
I hope we can put some Shania Twain on the back side of that bench.
Yo, if I still had that shirt and I could fit in that, even if I still had it, I would try to squeeze in and let whatever fall out, fall out. Randy.
Stop. You did it.
I just did it, man.
That's like closure I've needed for I don't know how many 15 years, Stub.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I've definitely heard that
Do
story
you feel
like
the
3
same
times.
way?
Absolutely, because I have not been able to like actually bench press ever since that for fear of getting trapped.
So, Mike, you gave him PTSD.
Stop.
I gave it to myself, I'll be fair.
Mike could have stayed there and spotted you.
I mean, he did come to help me. He could have left me.
I would
that's
never
true.
leave you, Stop. But 95 for 10. Okay, Stop.
That's right. I've come a long way.
I'm highlighting right now the infamous J Stup bench story.
No, boys, this has been a blast, though. I'm glad. I mean, I love the conversation, but I came here tonight to heal.
Absolutely.
And Stop. I'm glad we were able to do that.
Me too, brother.
Feels good.
It's been so much fun. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
No
it.
problem, boys. I think plug whatever you want to plug,
This
please.
is not a shameless plug. This is plug
This is
the fuck
Plug
out of
the
it.
shit.
yeah.
Entirely shameful and or shameless. Do you,
Yes, yes.
Do you have anything?
I mean, shout out to Mike Valeni for helping us get to where we are. I mean, we have the Extreme Music Awards coming up in January. It's like the Grammys for heavy metal. We're going to be playing the pre-show. So whoever's listening to this, come on out. If you need tickets, let us know because we got to get rid of some.
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's actually at Empire Live, or actually Underground, right?
No, it's at live.
Yeah,
For
so the
local
awards
scene,
show's at Empire Live over in Albany, one of the biggest venues in Albany.
Yep.
for the local scene, it's actually quite big. They're like getting
National attention.
actual like metal celebrities in there. The
Rhythm
guy they were
guitarist
trying
for
to
Slayer.
the guy they were trying to like hide to announce, which they announced like the day after our Halloween show,
Mm-hmm.
was he's the guitarist of Exodus, and he was also the fill-in guitarist for Slayer after Jeff Hanneman died. And Exodus is the band that got started by Metallica guitarist Kirk Hammett back in 81 or 82.
I think it was
and
81.
Gary Holt has been with them literally ever since then.
Since 2011, I think.
And then when Jeff Hanneman passed away in 2011, I believe, 2011 or 2012,
Yeah.
Gary Holt has also been filling in, pulling double duty with Slayer as well. And that's like crazy. I literally have one of their banners in my drum room right now. I bought it when I was a teenager. So, and we in my old band played with Exodus in like 2013 or 2014. And it's like, it's kind of surreal just having him there. And he's supposed to be in town for like our show and stuff like that too. So there's the possibility of us like getting to hang out with him and stuff like that beforehand. Like it's pretty freaking surreal. It's a big deal for the scene. It's a big highlighter for the scene and stuff like that too.
Especially because the Grammys doesn't like to include our type of music, where it's some of the most passionate music that you can ever find.
Mm-hmm.
And they
the
just
Academy
completely...
sucks.
Yep, the Academy sucks. They always snuff heavy metal.
Yeah,
And,
fuck the Academy.
We
Yep.
we knew that when Macklemore won Best Hip Hop Album.
I mean, yeah. Then when the Foo Fighters won Best Metal, like, I think it was Best Rock or Metal Album over Metallica.
No, it was Jethro Tull.
That's it.
But Foo Fighters won Best Metal Performance a few years back or something like that. Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. Jethro Tull is still the most egregious.
Yeah. I mean, no, like, shame to Dave Grohl or anybody, because, I mean, they're still phenomenal, but they're not metal.
It's fair.
So, just had to give that a nice shout out. Shout out to the Phoenix and the Raven, our band. You go to thephoenixandtheraven.com. We have an official website that links you to every single part of our socials, to all of our music.
What's the social? Is it just at the Phoenix and Raven?
At the Phoenix and the Raven official, I believe.
Okay.
That is, yeah, that's our Instagram. Phoenix and the Raven official on Facebook as well. Phoenix and the Raven on Bandcamp, phoenixandtheraven.com, the website.
Phoenix and the Raven on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere you can find any streaming.
Spaceballs the doll, Spaceballs the flamethrower.
Shout out to Brandon's idea for the Burb shirts that we came out with.
Yeah.
We got lots of merch. Feel free to buy that on the website.
Yep, we got merchandise, we got music, we got more music on the way. We have what was supposed to be a released music video coming out next Friday. So it is going to come out next Friday. It was supposed to be released literally months and months ago, but the red tape I was referring to, we're releasing this for fun. We're not doing it for money or anything like that.
It's just for the fans.
We did a cover of Dire Straits' Salt and the Swings. So that will be coming out with a video and stuff like that next week. It'll be, I think it is available on our SoundCloud as well.
Absolutely. And just shout out to everybody in the scene. Shout out to you guys for having us here. Thank you so much. And shout out to us healing together.
I'm so happy we could do that.
Me
The
too.
redemption arc that made this all worth it.
Now Mike's gonna have to figure out why he really started the gym.
100%. No, I got some closure, and I'm happy we could heal together. You and Devin have healed from the Shania Twain drama.
100%.
That's beautiful.
We
Yeah.
got to have that testimony somewhere in this gym at some point, like hand painted on a canvas or something like that. That's a good inception story for all of this.
I think
This
it
is a gym for healing and Shania Twain.
Say no more. Say less.
I might play Shania Twain in the morning tomorrow.
Say
at 7.
less.
I mean, I'm going to probably play it on the way home. Because, man, I feel like a woman.
Boys, as much as I want that to play us out, tell us a song to play us out of yours that Jordy could put on right now.
Probably Hero, because
Yeah,
Hero
probably-
is our most pop song that we have. And it's always a segue to play for people who don't really listen to metal, but kind of want to see what we're about.
It's a fun one. It was written. I mean, it's overall written about just like the struggles of trying to do the right thing. Mainly, it was about my father, and just trying to overcome what he did. He was literally the hardest worker I will literally ever meet in my life, and it was written about him. Just
Yeah, man.
I remember your dad from Little League, so good dude. Good
intense.
dude.
He's mellowed out a lot.
But listen, dude, he gave me some great advice as a Little League baseball player, so I'll take it.
Boys, appreciate you coming on. This has been a blast. Thanks, Stup.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
man.
B Weave.
Thank you so much.
We'll let a little Hero play us out, Jay.
There's a way, a chance for me to say